lot of bam bam, so then you just get stuck, and then he hits you. Okay. And I'm like, that's not nice. So I just got beat to hell, and I was finally gonna basically be done with the final thing of Monster Hunter, and I could not because he beat me up. I gotta do it again. In other news, Elden Ring exists. It's a Souls-like game. Well, it's a game that Dark Souls. The Souls-like is like Dark Souls. Okay. Yeah, or Demon Souls.
It's super hard and everyone dies.
Yeah, and it's co-written by George R.R. Martin.
Heroes of Pendilor Session 15 Recap. Death of a Hero. Having been pursued by the full forces of Captain Undine's navy, the heroes made the difficult decision to steer the Dauntless into a powerful electric storm, hoping to lose their Piscean pursuers, whose technology is especially vulnerable to electricity. The gambit was successful, however the storm was more than it appeared to be. The thin umbra between life and death was stretched too thin here by the tidal forces of the universe, and the champions came face to face with a host of undead on the high seas. An errant bolt of necromantic energy leaves the captain of the Dauntless in a lifeless state. Narrowly escaping with their own lives, the powerful storm rocked the rest of the crew and tossed the ship upon the rocky shores of an unknown island. The heroes of Pendilor awoke to find themselves shipwrecked on the island of exile. This uncharted, mystical isle is home to a blind woman Ira and her dog Sky. A worshipper of Valkyr, captain of the four seas and lord of storms, Ira also claims to be able to see events as they will come to pass, and to understand clearly that which has already passed. However, her idyllic routine has been interrupted by the daily ravagings of a family of Chimera who have sought this island as a reward. Ira offered to help repair their vessel and tend to the wounded crew, if the heroes could rid the island of these predatory and invasive chimeras. With no hesitation and even fewer questions, the heroes agreed to locate and eradicate the chimeras. After some scouting and tracking, the heroes located a vast tidal cave on the northern side of the crescent-shaped island and bravely entered its dark depths, encountering some unforeseen resistance, as well as some well-earned booty. The band of adventurers finally came face to face with the monstrous mated pair of chimera. Flying over the deep ravine that separated the hunter from prey, a deep reverberating growl sought to paralyze the party with fear, and in some measure, the chimera was successful. With sword and steel they fought, with coils of lightning and waves of destructive thunder they overwhelmed one beast. Over the din of battle, only one sound could be heard above all others, the resolute prayers of a diminutive cleric. His words filled the massive chamber like distant, rolling thunder. He was not the largest, or the strongest of the band of heroes. Quite the opposite. But he was the indomitable core at the center of their successes. A beacon to follow, and when needed, the respite that can only be found in the eye of the storm. The deadly dance with the matriarch had taken a heavy toll on the party of adventurers, and victory was not certain. Dodging falling stalagmites from the crumble, of Pendilor Session 15 Recap. Death of a Hero. Having been pursued by the full forces of Captain Undine's navy, the heroes made the difficult decision to steer the Dauntless into a powerful electric storm, hoping to lose their Piscean pursuers, whose technology is especially vulnerable to electricity. The gambit was successful, however the storm was more than it appeared to be. The thin umbra between life and death was stretched too thin here by the tidal forces of the universe, and the champions came face to face with a host of undead on the high seas. An errant bolt of necromantic energy leaves the captain of the Dauntless in a lifeless state. Narrowly escaping with their own lives, the powerful storm rocked the rest of the crew and tossed the ship upon the rocky shores of an unknown island. The heroes of Pendilor awoke to find themselves shipwrecked on the island of Exile. This uncharted, mystical isle is home to a blind woman, Ira, and her dog, Sky. A worshipper of Valkyr, captain of the four seas and lord of storms, Ira also claims to be able to see events as they will come to pass, and to understand clearly that which has already passed. However, her idyllic routine has been interrupted by the daily ravagings of a family of chimera who have sought this island as a rookery. Ira offered to help repair their vessel and tend to the wounded crew, if the heroes could rid the island of these predatory and invasive chimeras. With no hesitation and even fewer questions, the heroes agreed to locate and eradicate the chimeras. After some scouting and tracking, the heroes located a vast tidal cave on the northern side of the crescent-shaped island and bravely entered its dark depths. Encountering some unforeseen resistance, as well as some well-earned booty, the band of adventurers finally came face to face with the monstrous mated pair of chimera. Flying over the deep ravine that separated the hunter from prey, a deep reverberating growl sought to paralyze the party with fear. And in some measure, the chimera was successful. With sword and steel they fought. With coils of lightning and waves of destructive thunder they overwhelmed one beast. Over the din of battle, only one sound could be heard above all others: the resolute prayers of a diminutive cleric. His words filled the massive chamber like distant, rolling thunder. He was not the largest or the strongest of the band of heroes, quite the opposite, but he was the indomitable core at the center of their successes, a beacon to follow, and when needed, the respite that can only be found in the eye of the storm. The deadly dance with the matriarch had taken a heavy toll on the party of adventurers, and victory was not certain. Dodging falling stalagmites from the crumbling cavern ceiling, as well as the scorching fire breath from the red dragon's head, seemed to overwhelm the party of 6. The massive, wounded chimera, motivated by a mother's fiercest power to protect her offspring, managed to corner several members of the adventuring party. The lion and ram head seemed to shrink before the fury of the dragon's head. Caustic ash snowed from her nostrils with each flare, and as she opened her mauve, pointed, crooked teeth, they each glowed like red, hot embers. The heroes could feel the intense heat before the cone of flame was even visible. Some scattered, trying to dash for cover. Some closed their eyes and made peace with what was about to happen. One small voice, just above a whisper. No. As the gout of dragon's fire reached the readied shield of Zaz Middle River, the small whispering word had become a thunderous boom. Shaking the very ground itself, he spoke again. No! This time, his eyes flashed with a brilliant white light, and small tendrils of electricity, almost tear-like, stream out of his eyes. The small, quiet, indomitable storm god strode forward into the flames of the chimera. Each step must have been excruciating, scale and flesh burning to black char, but he never stopped, or even winced. As if to answer the question on everyone's face, how? Zaz thundered in defiance. I am the servant of Talos. I am the storm. The small, defiant kobold had reached the massive monster. Struggling with his last bit of strength, his narrow, clawed hand seized the red dragon around her throat. A final, echoing thunderclap peals throughout the cave, and all of the manifested lightning that had been circling the servant of Talos is discharged into the monster. The full wrath of the storm is more than she can take. Her skeleton burns from the inside as her muscles convulse. The final chimera is dead. Abruptly, the lightning swirling around the cave ceases as darkness and silence take the space. Hasty hands work to save their cleric, but sad, knowing glances begin to spread around the party. All that could be done was done, but their friend, their champion, is dead. Recalled to the great storm halls, Zaz Middle River died, protecting his friends and crewmates. Long may he be remembered. And then his body was looted by Alexis. End scene.
long rest. Put a meme in general chat. I thought it was funny.
Well, I was kind of like talking this whole time and forgot I was muted.
Oh no.
Yeah. But I didn't have anything important to say. It was just banter. You know,
Did it have
standard
to do with my
Jack
comments?
stuff.
Because that's all that matters.
Yes.
Well, then continue. Say what you said, but not muted this time.
Like, no. So that was funny, and I thought that was an interesting idea.
Oh, okay.
That was literally it. And I laughed. And then I saw the little red light on my microphone, and I went, oh, I'm muted. They heard none of that. Okay.
Are you posting more memes? No.
I posted one meme.
Oh, that was Andrew responding to Arcane. Yeah, even though I don't like playing League anymore, besides TFT, they're pretty good about content creation.
I actually do enjoy League itself as well. I just only when you play with friends, because if you play by yourself, you're gonna be eaten alive by all the awful people.
Yeah. I played in the A-Room the other day with some friends. We had a whole group, and
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't actually
ARAM is hilarious.
I haven't actually touched like a Summoner's Rift or A-Room game in probably over a year, and so I haven't
Good.
played.
That
This is like my
means
first time playing with the new item resets,
yeah.
and I
So
was just the whole time I was just screaming like, "What do I build? I have no idea what to build."
it's a good thing you weren't playing Summoner's Rift. Then you're playing Howling Abyss.
Yeah, but all the items still got revamped.
Yeah, they did. This is the first time that they've like fully revamped the items in League and since the game really started. Really, like a full
That's not
revamp
true.
like that.
They did it like
A
season.
full revamp like that? Not really.
Yeah, that was season 4. They did that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh well.
Season
Eh.
4 they like fully revamped a lot of the items. Like certain items survived, but they like completely changed what they did.
All
Oh.
right, guys, are we ready to jump into D&D?
Yes.
Woohoo!
Okay.
No.
No,
All right. Well, let's wait then.
too real. All right, so I think everybody's comfortable with previously on D&D between the session recap and what we've talked about. Does anybody have any outstanding questions before we jump in?
No, I guess I don't.
Pretty good. Ready to go.
Then we pick up right where we were. You guys had managed to struggle bus out of the cave below the tidal wave or the tidal line, get back up on the beach. You have in tow an infant chimera and the fallen body of Zaz Middle River. It is a sad, somber afternoon. The only option that seems available to you is to return to Ira's hut and, probably long rest. I believe that's where we left discussing whether it was a wise decision just to long rest on the beach or not, but I assume rather than just sleeping in the surf, it made sense to go back to a house.
Yes.
Okay. As you turn the corner of the crescent-shaped island heading from the north side to the south side of Exile, you can see small plumes of white smoke on the horizon line. Afraid of what that might entail or what's causing it. Fire, not great on a small island where you're trying to rebuild a ship. You race back to the hut to find several small piles of incense being ceremoniously burned in a triangular pattern, and a small ceremony has been prepared. A number of the Dauntless crew already basically sitting on their knees in the sand, kind of heads low, almost like they already know what's happened. In front of them is Ira with a censer, just blessing the entire area with this sort of sage-smelling incense. She has collected blooming flowers from all over the island and encircled them in floating wreaths that have small concave baskets at their center. As you guys approach, she knowingly gives you a half smile. Not surprising that the woman who can see the future already knew what was going to happen to Zaz in that cave. She motions to a small erected altar where the body might be placed, and she offers you the opportunity to celebrate with her and the rest of the gathered crew members a warrior's wake for your champion.
Reed walks up to her and like places a gentle hand on her shoulder and says, "Thank you," and then walks away.
I assume Leo's going to be carrying the body, so he'll place Zaz on the altar.
You notice that someone, possibly a member of the crew, has crudely erected a honorary statue of Zaz constructed out of just sand. It's really quite something. It's generous. The statue itself is probably taller and broader than Zaz ever was in life.
Damn.
But the somber occasion is marked by a familiar sound. In the distant vastness of the ocean beyond, you can hear the small crackle of thunder, and you can see a single bolt of lightning touch down on the surface of the ocean. She asks if anyone has any words to say. If possible, any of you who would like to share a fond memory of an adventure with Zaz or just a final thought about him is free to do that now.
Kig's got something to say. Zaz was a good friend. He didn't deserve to go this way, though he fought valiantly. I don't have much to say about Zaz. We were close, but we never spent too much time together. All I know is that he would want to be buried. A proper burial. I'll miss you, buddy.
Leo's going to pipe up and be like, I didn't know you long, but I always felt like I could run into battle with you at my back and be safe. And I feel like I really let you down this time. And then he's just going to kind of touch the altar and then turn around and walk away.
As you turn to walk away, Leo, Ira grabs your forearm. She asks you to, motioning. There's not really words today, but she has you open your large, sweaty dwarven hand, and clutched in your palm is that makeshift medallion that you've been sculpting to try to replace the champion's medal that Zaz won in the pit. And she asks if you'd like to give that back to the sea, as is her custom. Each of the flowering wreaths that she made are meant to float on the waves and be carried on to the next world. They're meant to hold the basket in the center, totems, things of importance, to tell the Stormlord of the deeds of his servant.
Leo's going to agree and say that would be the best thing to do is to honor Zaz in any way he knows how. And he'll hand over the medallion.
She gently places it in the floral basket and lets the current just take it out to sea, just ever so slowly being drugged back out into the deep. You watch it for the better part of an hour until eventually it vanishes beyond sight. While that's happening, does anybody else want to say anything?
Yes. Reed turns around so he's facing the gathering and speaks up. He says, Zaz was Zaz. He was reliable. When I could not keep the party healthy, he more than made up the difference. He saved us. We were not friends as friends could really be, but he was there for me, and in the end, I was not there for him. I'm sorry, Zaz. I'll miss you. And then Reed wipes an eye and then kind of wanders down to where the waves are touching the shore.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Does anybody else have any personal effects or totems, evidence of Zaz's bravery that they want to put on these ceremonial floral wreaths and send them out on the waves? While you guys are deciding, one of the injured members of the Dauntless, one of the people that have been stranded here with you, takes a long coiled bit of fabric out of his pocket. It looks like field dressing, and it's just caked in dried brown blood. But he wraps it up into a tight ball and places it in the basket, saying, "It could have been me on this beach you're all burying if not for Zaz." He says a prayer in a language you don't speak and sets the token adrift on the waves just like Leo did. If no one else has anything they'd like to say or any other token they'd like to contribute, Ira is prepared to finalize the ritual and close out the ceremony. Okay. She says a deeply moving prayer that focuses on duty, sacrifice, and kinship, and then asks if there are any who are willing to help her inter the body, as per Zaz's wishes.
Okay, will help.
It will also help.
Reed will help.
Thank you, Reed.
And probably a stroke of nobody expecting it. Alexis will help, but like not saying anything.
Is it to check his pockets one last time?
No.
You guys, acting like pallbearers, bear him aloft and carry him to an area where a beautiful grave has been dug deep up the shoreline, where the soil is not sand as much as it is clay. And he is therein buried. There's a small limestone grave marker that she carved bearing the 3 lightning strikes of Talos. You can tell that she doesn't prefer that particular deity, but that was who he died in the service of, and she wanted to honor that. Those who remained on the beach during the ceremony. So that's not Leo, not Alexis, not Kig, not Reed. I'd like both of you to make a perception roll for me.
Oh, I am muted. Okay.
Is it just you? Did I miscount?
No, was it just
No,
me?
I believe it's up there too,
It's
but
just-
he's passed out. They're passed out.
Oh yeah, Kel, and so just myself, yeah. So perception, you said?
Yes, please.
Sorry. Character. There we go. Okay, too many windows. There we go. That's me. Well,
Excellent. Always being very attentive to the world around you, to your surroundings, to the finer details. You handle grief differently than most because you've seen your fair share of death. You're not quite as moved as the others are, not because Zaz wasn't important, but just because as a monk you've been trained to appreciate that, all existence is circular and that death is as much a part of life as birth is. This detachment, though, has allowed you to notice that amongst all of the people at the ceremony today, in the back in Ira's hut, there is a person you do not recognize. He seemed to sit just out of direct line of sight for the entirety of the proceedings. A tall, sort of long-haired, long-eared figure, just trying to stay uninvolved in all of it. Whether out of respect or apathy, you don't know, but it's definitely a face that they're not from the Dauntless crew, and they were not here when you guys landed earlier. Just an unknown quantity. Going back to the beach, or up up the beach a bit, to where Zaz has been laid to rest. Ira asks the four of you, after he's buried, if you finished what needed to be finished down there.
Reed does what I typed in the chat.
Sorry, I'm pathologically
Yeah.
checking the stream audio.
Reed just kind of like last minute, wishing he was there to make a difference, sprinkle some herbs from his healing kit over Zaz's new resting place. Knowing it does nothing, it's more of a symbolic effort. Perhaps he will live a healthy afterlife.
Pour one out for my homies who aren't here.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
I love it.
Back to Ira's question. Did you complete your mission?
Leo says yes. We cleared the cave.
And she says, so there are no chimera left on the island?
Leo's gonna say there are no adult chimera left on this island.
She
There are no chimera of any threat.
she nods, knowing the distinction you've made, and says, that's not what I'm speaking of. There was more in the cave for you to find, more still that needed to be discovered. I care not about the whelpling.
Did we find like an egg or something? I forget.
there was a
There's
a
a hole.
Oh, the hole. Okay.
Yeah, one of the stalactites that crashed down cracked through the floor, leaving a massive, vacuous, gaping chasm, a hole that seemed to be endlessly deep.
There was also a sea hag.
There was also a sea hag. And a scum.
Yeah, that thing.
Scum.
I guess I'll say to her that we killed two of the chimera, and then there was a giant hole that we did not explore because of our dear friends passing.
She asks if you intend to revisit that.
Um, I'd say probably after our morning period is over, then yes.
She, almost like a school teacher, reminds you that no one arrives at exile without purpose. There is intention behind everything that happens on this place.
Okay.
I will go back and explore with any who comes with.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, how does it pertain to our, our original mission? But if the the future teller wants to say that everything has a purpose, I'm inclined to believe.
Usually a fairly strong indicator. But she tells you that, the time in which you choose to fulfill your own destiny is your own. You'll discover that time doesn't move here quite the way it used to.
So we can come back.
Well, it's not
So-
like we can leave.
That is true.
Fair. That's fair.
Still waiting on the boat to be finished, and even then it's a sketchy proposition, I think. But are you guys going to go back and rejoin the rest of the crew who are still in mourning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think after we, settle everything with Zaz, we can all talk about it.
In an uplifting turn of events, as you guys return to the village, you can hear the sound of laughter and maybe even a small lute being played as you approach the thing. Several people are dancing in the surf while another strums his instrument, and one person's begun a chant from the arena of Kig the champion, 3 cheers for Kig, hip hip huzzah, reliving that glorious moment where he won first place in the gladiatorial games of Lowtown.
I mean, Zaz?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that was.
You can hear people exchanging amusing anecdotes or, times where common language idioms were kind of lost on Zaz. Just, it's gone from this somber, sort of mourning scape to a truly a celebration. People seem happy, and they are focused more on remembering all of the good that Zaz did and all of the funny and amazing things he did. Is there anything special anybody would like to do this evening? Or do you guys just want to revel in the festivities, maybe get a little irresponsibly drunk, and just pass out and deal with everything else in the morning?
I think Leo wants to get more than irresponsibly drunk tonight.
Kig wants to eat.
Wants to drown his sorrows.
Try.
Sure.
The boat would have had. Was it the size of the boat? Would it have had like a sheep or a livestock on it for like anything like that?
No,
when we crashed, I guess.
all of your provisions were dried. It was not
Okay.
meant to be like a extended duration.
Okay, so we
exploratory
don't
vessel.
really have any hay or anything.
Mm-mm. I mean, if you're looking to burn stuff, that's easily obtainable from the island.
Not burn. I want to try and make a small like circle nest for the little guy
Okay.
somewhere where, and then like to still like make sure it's like getting better to know me, sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, you can probably use like coconut husk as the base material.
Yeah.
As well as like large leaves from some of the foliage. Why don't you make for me a survival check to do your best version of mimicking a mama chimera and building him a nest?
Oh, lovely. I'm not. That's not awful.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's not bad at all.
You don't know anything about being a chimera, but you do know about being small and forgotten and cold and hungry, and you focus more on what that would be like, and you cure those, just basic needs that any creature has. And you build a fairly cozy, comfortable nest for the creature. I know we're jumping around chronologically a little bit, but as the chimera goes down for the night, I'd like you to make an animal handling check, but because of the quality of the nest you've made, you can make that roll with advantage.
Oh Christ, here we again. It's happening again. Please be good.
12 is respectable.
Terrible.
As it gets sleepy, the dragon's head remains highest in the stack of 3. Almost, it's got like those kind of dog or shark-like nictating membranes, so it's always kind of sleeping with its eyes open. But the other 2 heads gently snuggle against your arm while you're still trying to build the nest around him, and at one point lets you sort of pet or give it scritches as it falls asleep.
Yeah.
It's the friendliest it's been towards you since you've got it out of the cave.
By the way, real quick question. This thing isn't none of the heads, with maybe the exception of the dragon, are at the meat eating stage yet, right?
Correct, yeah. The
Okay.
teeth are, like, you can start to see the very, very beginnings of teeth erupting in the dragon's head, but
Yeah.
no, they're still like on milk.
It's still a milk drinker. Okay.
Mhm. All right. Everybody else gets very, very well fed and irresponsibly drunk. Remarkably, there's a moment that Leo, during the revelries, has come back for his 8th or 9th helping from the same cask of beer, and it still feels like it's half full. You start to wonder if there's not magic afoot, but then you realize you don't care and drink more. Everyone
Nice.
gets as well fed and as well drunk as they want to, going to bed, and in the morning, everyone wakes.
Long rest, reset your stuff.
Get your spell slots back, abilities back, HP set to maximum, please, and thank you.
All my key points.
More keys, please.
More key.
I would like an action. How many? All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Can I restock my healing kit while I'm with the group or at her hut?
Yeah, absolutely. She gave you free
Thanks.
reign over her stock. All right. Is there any like fresh morning day is yours chores that we want to do before we start exploring things?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Um,
as-
Lee
real
just
quick.
wants us to prepare for adventuring and back into the cave.
Mhm.
I was gonna ask one thing: is Ira nearby the boat, or is she a considerable distance away?
From the vessel that's being repaired from the Dauntless?
I think where we made camp. I think by the old boat is, if I'm
Mhm.
correct, we're camping near the old boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
just-
a ways away.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
It's a small island, so I mean everything's kind of within running distance, but
Yeah. No, I was gonna. She's a farmer, so I was wondering if she would have like a sheep's, like a water skin, but with like milk for the that I could give the little guy. But I didn't
sure-
ask for that at the time, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet almost something like that could probably be fabricated if she doesn't already have it.
yeah. Okay.
Once everybody's sort of on their feet, it's just dawn. There's this side of the island, you're flush, you're at sea level, so sunrise is abrupt. There's very little places for you to hide. But as sun just peaks above the horizon line, a small shadow is cast. A lone figure is standing like ankle deep in the surf, casting a long shadow all down the beach. They seem to be observing the heavens, staring directly upward, something. You can't tell if it's attached to them or if it's just floating next to them, but something just keeps mechanically whirring. It almost looks like a mechanical apparatus that keeps reconfiguring small circles, flipping around other circles, sliding around a long disc. But as the sun rises, the figure shakes its head, almost like he was disappointed that the sun came up, and just walks back towards Ira's cabin.
We notice anything distinct about the figure?
It's hard because he's walking sort of right against the rising sun, so all you really see is a black silhouette. Tall, thin, decidedly long pointed ears.
I guess Leah's gonna just kind of, in a hungover state, just kind of yell at him. Who are you?
Shape up and meet me when you can.
Oh boy.
Oh?
Shape up and meet me when you can. I'm just gonna, like, try
Dumbstruck
to.
and potentially a little drunk, the mechanical apparatus lingers in the air for a second and then follows him as if tethered by an unseen leash. You can hear its very soft mechanical grindings as he leaves, but you notice every footfall leaves no trace on the sand of the beach.
Pig is a little confused.
Reed looks up and feels a little startled and also disoriented as he thought he knew everyone that was on the island already.
Alexis is extremely curious about the weird mechanical apparatus and does a little jog to try to catch up to the weird little mechanical apparatus to get a better look at it.
Seeing Alexis move, Reed immediately follows. Alexis, wait up! Where are you going?
I'm gonna go see what this weird electric thingy is.
Do you know it's electric?
Assuming facts not in evidence.
Sorry, I'm just saying what Alexis says. Alexis is somewhat of a academic. She's a part of the academia. She's probably knows what a mechanical something is.
Okay.
All right. Several of you race towards the Ira's hut, following this unknown character. As each of you sort of tries to outrun the next towards discovery and inquiry, you burst at the same time, kind of like three guys trying to fit through the same door frame at one time, sitcom style, into her hut. She's still teeping several cups of tea, and standing with absolutely perfect posture with his back towards you is the figure from the beach. Zell, would you like to describe yourself for the party?
Yeah. So
What do they see?
immediately you see an elven man that looks like he is out of place because this person looks like he is not the adventuring type. He is the noble type. His clothes are far too nice for this island. His hair looks like it has recently been styled, and he sits with the poise of someone who was taught how to sit. As he turns, not even to face you, but to face the seer, he says, look, Madam Seer, as suggested, I brought them.
Well, hello to you too, sir.
Reed looks a little stunned, and then after he snaps himself out of the original shock, looks to this newcomer, back to Alexis, to the newcomer, back to Alexis like he can't decide who's more beautiful.
A little shocked, but and just internally like hurt, but not sure why. I give Reed a little bit weird look based off of the way Reed is looking, and then is obviously more interested in the weird mechanical worry thingy that is near this person. And then I walk up closer, kind of ignoring him entirely, just to look at what that is. Get a better look at what that is.
As you get close, the elf man will rather sharply say, "If you touch it, I suggest you learn how to replace it first. It will only take you a century."
Oh, I don't plan on touching it, and I just kind of keep doing that thing where you just kind of you know how you're at a museum and you're looking at something but you can't touch it, but you get really close with your face and you're just kind of looking at it, just trying to figure out exactly how it works, and just kind of there's like sparkles in Alexis's eyes, like this is fantastic. What the fuck is this?
Give a bit more of detail since you're a little closer. It looks like the night sky, at least the innards of it, the inner sphere. The pieces that are rotating and orbiting around it are bronze, copper, and silver, and spinning in a way that you might actually need a century to try and figure out why.
I just kind of turn to him and I'm like, is this an astrolabe?
Oh, how wonderful.
I'm like,
Oh,
this is
you have.
fantastic.
Oh, thank goodness. Madam Seer, you didn't tell me that they had an education. Oh, wonderful.
No one tell him that she's the smartest one.
As I typed in,
I
Reed
really want. I really
approaches
want.
now.
Technically the
Leo's gonna
smartest
like
one in the
stumble in at
party.
this point and just be like, "What's an astrolabe?"
And then I'm going to do that thing where Alexis just knows how to explain things, but doesn't actually know how to explain things. And I do this huge, just long, drawn out explanation. And that's probably causing Zell's character, which I don't know his name yet, to just kind of know that Alexis knows what she's looking at, but is explaining it in the worst way possible, in the most long, drawn out way. And probably Leo's just like falling asleep.
I think he's getting closer, and he's gonna be examining the like metal craft of it, and kind of
Sensing
ignoring
that
you.
you guys are coming on awfully strong and you might be overwhelming her other guest, she asks if you could all politely please just take a seat. Then she grumbles to herself, "Why are these introductions always so damned difficult?" She muses out loud to herself, "Not all who wander may be lost, but certainly everyone who washes up on these shores are."
Do
Now,
not worry, Madam Seer. You get used to people staring.
And I just
Reed,
kind of,
I'm not staring.
Alexis
As
just
his
kind of
neck's like
looks at
craned.
Reed and says, "Tell me about it."
she reiterates the plan that none who arrive on the shores of exile do so by accident. It is the unseen hand of fate that guides you all here. It would seem as though you each have something to offer the other, and for at least a very short period of time, seems as though you should act in one another's best interests. Perhaps you should start by introducing yourselves.
Hi, I'm Reed. We're going to go back and explore a cave. Want to come with us?
Oh, very no.
Should.
I
There's a big deep there.
I appreciate the offer. I am Marius Tupaugavar, first son of the Tupaugavar household, member of the Royal Astrologers Society, and heir to the Tupaugavar estates, funds, and positions. Unfortunately, I was resting while my helmsman ran into a storm of undeath the size of a large city for all the good it did him. And as recompense, he is now flotsam in the sea. I take it then that if you have something that I need, you have a way to get me back to Pendilor.
We got a boat, and then I keep just being giddy about the astrolabe, having no absolute knowledge of what it is, sort of.
The seer sets one of the steeping cups of tea on one side. Yes, indeed, a vessel. But as she moves another steeping cup of tea to the exact opposite side of the table as the first, no means for you to leave this place. It would
That's
require
fine.
a navigator of untold skill to safely pilot the ship out of exile.
Oh, wonderful. It's almost as if you need an astronomer with a map so detailed as mine.
Leo's gonna be like,
Perhaps I do have something of
I
yours.
wonder where we can find one of those.
In the hole?
Hey,
I
that's a
did
good
not actually
idea.
say
We
that.
should go there and
I'm
find
sorry.
out.
Madam Seer, I am more than happy to guide these poor lost souls back to my home. But I can't assume that you expect me to go digging around in the filth with them.
She explains that she has no expectations in anyone here. She simply creates the situations in which fate will weave its web. What you do with that information, as always, is up to each of you. But she does allude to all of you present, not speaking to any one person directly, but taking turns during an elaborate breakfast ritual, that there is something long forgotten, something secret in the depths of the island, something she's known about for a long time, but claims that the secret is not for her.
I think Reed is going to pipe up again. He goes, well, clearly our party needs to go down to this cave and explore it a little bit further. But if you're not going to go, I'd love to stay and keep you company. I have so many questions to ask you.
The old reverse psychology.
But Reed would actually mean it.
Oh, wonderful. I would love to impart all of the knowledge I have. Do you halflings have the 100 years it will take?
We are long lived. Sure, I've got enough time to get a good sense of you.
Guess that could have gone way worse. He didn't just directly insult your intelligence. Only your limited lifespan. With enough time, you'll eventually get it. The seer takes time walking behind each of you as you drink some of her well-prepared tea and eat some of her crumpets, suggesting to each of you that teamwork might be beneficial here, that, as is sometimes the case, the sum of something might be more valuable than its constituent parts alone are.
Teamwork makes the dream work, as it were.
Mm-hmm. She says perhaps someone needs to make concessions.
You got a team up with this guy?
Not actually like unnerved by his current, actions and how he speaks. I'm just like, this guy knows what he's doing. Let's go.
Yes, she alludes again to the fact that none of what lies before you can be understood, defeated, or conquered by strength or will or mind alone. It will likely require all of the talents that everyone here possesses in concert.
Reed pipes up again. Yeah, my fists glow.
Leo's gonna hand Mr. Fancy Pants a calloused hand and be like, "Welcome to the team."
Oh boy.
While Leo's shaking his hand, I start to focus and my hand starts glowing and I start waving it up as close to his face as I can. I'm like, see? I'm brilliant.
Marius will take the handshake carefully. But as he does, he'll start observing. So what are you doing here, dwarf?
What do you
Look at
mean?
you. Look at you. Look at your clothes. Look at these calluses on your hand. Compared to most of the other people that I've run into on the island, you seem like the only sort that has any skills or professions benefiting society. What are you doing as an adventurer wandering around or crashing around these islands? You should be here at the castle. You should have a nice home. You should have a forge where you can be building the court weapons and armor. You should be living a nice life and producing, not this.
Well, I was a traveling blacksmith. Shit happened and ended up on an island.
A traveling blacksmith. Of course, yes. When we get back to Pendilor, I will lobby for a more permanent position for you.
I
Wonderful.
Finally calming down a little bit, I just kind of just square up a little bit in front of this significantly taller elven person, and just kind of sheepishly put my hand out, because now realizing I've just been kind of just going goo goo gaga over the astrolabe this entire time, and I'm like, Alexis Blacktalon, at your service.
Shaking that hand and say, you. Huh. Well, it is pleasant to meet one of my own for a change. Although, I had hoped, given your stature and some of your clothes, that you had completed your education. But don't worry, there is always more time.
Wait a minute, I did fit, and then I just kind of like cut myself off, and I'm like, yes, sir, and I just kind of just like slink off, kind of obviously realizing that he's probably knows more than I do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dax. I definitely read that and then was talked to a bunch. Sorry.
No. No, that's a separate text.
I do like that though.
Waving the glowing hand in your face and ignoring and talking to Leo. And I'm like, I have skills too.
You know what? That's perfect, because Marius will then turn to face you and say, and aren't you just peachy?
I like peaches.
Let's skip over some of this, and he'll literally like brush at the excess hair on your hands.
Oof.
I can already tell everything I need to, and
Good. Then you will find that we are all of immense value to you.
are you sure about that, monk?
Don't underestimate a halfling.
Oh, I don't underestimate a halfling. I estimate halflings quite accurately. What I'm estimating quite low is the monk standing in front of me. What being in a 3.5 foot package like yours would have the gall to
no.
look for enlightenment within? Goodness, if you want to find some higher being, look upwards, look to the stars, look to the gods. Don't look inward, or all you'll find is scat.
Jeez.
I'm gonna just instinctively kind of shift toward Jezza and kind of hold her shoulders and make sure she doesn't punch this guy in the face.
Yeah, like pull me back.
I didn't even
Oh, man.
think I was there. I thought I was still back on the beach with
Oh, have you not entered? Okay, then never mind then.
No, I didn't think
Right.
I was there.
Poison it is then.
Then never mind then. I stand there doing nothing.
Holding myself back.
Yeah,
No,
where's Pendilor?
no. The thing is, Alexis understands exactly what he's saying, but he is very well aware that his best friend is a monk. Her best friend's a monk.
Mhm.
Cop.
The seer speaks directly to Marius and says, "You have made a life's work of understanding the hidden machinations of the cosmos, unseen hand moving mysterious objects through space and time, and through that riddle, you've distilled knowledge and wisdom. But all of that has come at a cost. I observed even this morning. You did the unspeakable, removed both shoe and sock so that you might wade into the optimal viewing position for your calculations this morning. I imagine that was quite disgusting to have the wet sand between your toes."
Well, of course, but my work calls. I'll spend every night I have to trying to chart these stars.
She asks if you could not then apply that logic to this endeavor before you. Think of these assembled adventurers on my island as the wet sand between your toes.
What?
Undesirable, but necessary to your ultimate end.
Fine. Fine, it's not like I have to. It's not like I haven't spent most of my life shepherding the less fortunate.
Nice. Are the people in attendance then agreed that they will collaborate to explore the depths of the cave together?
Yes.
Yes.
If it
No.
will get me home.
Begrudgingly, yes. Then she recommends everyone get their belongings together, and she says that she's within a week's worth of time of being ready to have the ship fully outfitted and be ready to sail again.
A week is plenty of time to get rid of a den of chimeras, I would think.
As soon as Marius is the first to leave the group, because, why would he need to stay and listen to any more of your drivel? She waits just for him to be far enough out of earshot to say to the rest of you, "You're going to wish for more chimeras by the end of this."
But
But with that, everybody is set to do whatever dungeon delving preparation is required for their characters, and then we'll meet back up at the cave. Does
I'm gonna
anybody
do
have
this
anything
thing.
they need to do?
I am going to walk up to Arya, I think, and ask if you have any stock of healing potions lying around.
You're asking Ira the Seer if she has healing potions?
Yeah, in the hut, in the area.
She does not, sadly.
Unfortunate. Please have a good day.
She says she does have a number of healing herbs and poultices that she's made available to read, that have been more than enough to patch up any wounds she's experienced. And in fairness, she has made those herbs available to him basically anytime he needs them.
nice.
So can I go to the crew members and ask if they have any healing potions?
You might as well ask the Chimera if it has healing potions.
I'm not gonna ask the Chimera if they have healing potions.
I am not able to craft healing potions at this time, so unfortunately.
Well, I like how that was a very governmental response. I am unable to craft healing potions for you at this time.
I require more Vesphian gas.
Yeah, like an RPG.
I'll tell you what, because we don't have access to a traditional store, we'll let the die of fate decide. Jezza, you did not attend the breakfast meeting.
Yeah.
I imagine you've been tending to the Chimera infant and just kind of watching the shore.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff from the shipwreck has been washing up on shore for the last 24 to 36 hours. Just sometimes it's bodies, sometimes it's bits of ship rigging. Every once in a while, it's something useful. Since you're the only one who didn't have all of that time accounted for, why don't you make an investigation check as you do sort of like an early morning beach combing?
That would be oh, great. Something I'm even worse at. Amazing. Not with advantage. Here we
Oof. Delightfully average.
It's delightfully average,
go. Middle of the pack, you could say.
indeed.
I mean, I feel like that's a
just-
high enough roll for a trader just to wash up on shore
Hello.
for us to trade with.
Thankfully, my carton of wares seems fully intact. Do you have
So-
gold to spare?
It's the freaking it's the salesman from RE4. He just pulls open his backpack. What do you buy?
Oh no, even better. For the people who have actually seen Resident Evil Village, just this giant cart comes out and then the Duke pops out. It's like, hello!
So we're on the same page, I think.
Mhm.
He's
I
a
love
big
that.
fat guy, by the way. He's a big fat guy in the back of a cart.
So Jezza spends 45 minutes to an hour just walking up and down the coastline. You find the usual tattered bits of sail, a length of rope, pieces of sailors' clothing, some broken glass. You also find timber that is incredibly well stained, and it seems like a very high quality teak. It appears to be decking from a ship that is not the Dauntless. You walk further along,
Okay, yeah.
you find a large iron-bound footlocker. It's about 2 feet wide by 1 foot across, like a standard nautical footlocker. It is both closed and locked, but it has the ship's name on a curved emblem on the front that reads the Jackrow.
Is this thing like half buried in sand? Like it's in the tide still?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
on dry sand?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm just kind of looking at it, going, now you are interesting. And I realize that I am small goblin and I cannot pull this out of the sand. So what did my character do? Just I start. Is it kind of like half in, half out, like at an
I
angle?
would say that's exactly. Like the left
Yeah.
corner is higher than the right corner, which is mostly sunk in the sand.
Okay, I'd like to start trying to like dig at where the low corner is to see if I can like leverage it out with my quarterstaff.
Make an athletics check for me, and I'll give you advantage for using the staff as a lever.
Woohoo! Wow.
Hey, nice. Yeah, you were expecting to need reinforcements, but the combination of lever long enough and your monastic training, you're able to completely unseat it. There's this very gratifying sort of wet sand suction pop as you break the plane of the sand and are able to drag it up to dry sand. It took most of your strength to do it, breathing heavier than you want to admit. You have drug this 2-foot footlocker that seems full out of the surf and onto dry sand.
Yeah. I kind of just like put my hands in my, like I'm like laying down next to this thing. I like put my hands over my face, like I am pulling scrap out of the ocean, stuck on an island, and now I'm a single mom, evidently.
What a life.
What a life. Pull it back. It's now on dry sand. That little bit of character being done. I have thieves' tools. Can I attempt to open it? Is it a standard lock or?
It appears pretty normal, pretty average.
All right. Thieves' tools to try
Thieves'
and
tools.
open it.
Mhm.
Do I click on the thieves' tools or do I click on like? I don't actually know
As
how
long
to
as you're
do
clicking
this.
it from the proficiency section, it should roll that for you. Yeah,
Is there a lock picking proficiency or?
there is like lower right hand corner somewhere.
I see sleight of hand. I see stealth.
Like below proficiencies.
Yeah, there should just be thieves' tools, and then you attribute to dexterity, and then submit. Like for instance, I just rolled a 23 on thieves' tools.
Oh, okay. Why is it not giving? Oh, that. There we go.
I just threw away an amazing roll just to explain this.
Sure did.
15 is the DC we were looking for. It's a pretty stout lock, but with the same time and dedication you put into all things that you do, you successfully jimmy the lock open.
All right. I open up this footlocker, and what do I find? Using all my strength to push open this iron lid.
Turns out that's you didn't have any more strength. You can't open it. It took all of your strength to drag it out and open it or unlock it. Flinging the hatchback open, there is like a velveteen inset portion, like the leftmost third of the thing, and in there are 6 glass ampules. 2 of them have been broken, and the velveteen insert is just soaked in fluid, but the other 4 remaining glass ampules are there. 2 of them are like a milky white fluid, and 2 of them are a very promising crimson pink color. It kind of swirls and changes colors as you move the ampule.
The 2 broken ones, can I see if they had any color to them, or?
They appear to be like almost lime green, but you can't tell how much of that has been affected by whatever dyes were in that velveteen protective material.
Yeah.
In
So
the center console of the footlocker, there is a collapsible chair. It's intricately made of small pieces of rolled metal and elaborate clockwork, but it like folds up to the shape of a small dinner plate. But as you unfold and whir and gear and pull on levers, it becomes a very comfortable little 4-legged chair. And next to it, a similarly compact and foldable tripod that seems to accept some kind of device not present here in the case. In modern parlance, it looks like a camera tripod.
okay.
And lastly, beneath that, you find in like a cylindrical tube. Looks like the tube itself is made of silver, but there are 100 gold coins just stacked face to face in this cylindrical silver tube. And to the right side, you see a change of very, very fancy clothes and a small zippered bag. The zipper alone tells you what an expensive and high quality item this is. You don't see zippers on anything except the highest of the high end merchandise. It appears to be some kind of self grooming kit, a series of shears and razors and combs and brushes, pastes and colors and dyes, and an elaborate set of very regal, very expensive looking clothing.
Nice.
You should ask if there's a name on it.
Yeah. Wondering, do I see any names attached to any of these items, like property of type thing?
There's nothing that says property of, but the cufflinks attached to the jacket have the crest of House Pogover on them. It is an elaborate sort of starburst with the family name curled under the second half of, so it makes like a sphere.
Yep. So I kind of leave it as it is because there's too much stuff for me to just carry on my own. I like to look at the clothes. Do I find anything that fits me in my?
No, it all seems
Yeah.
like it's meant for somebody easily twice your size.
All right. I grab the ampule with the gold coins, and I like tuck that into my my belt area.
Okay.
And then I close the thing, and I kind of like motion at like, don't move. You said 100 gold coins, or?
Mhm.
Okay. And it was Pagover, you said? Am I pronouncing that right?
I hope that I am, but Paugovar. Pagovar. Pagovar. Pagovar.
Yeah.
Pagovar.
Oh, one last thing. One last thing that I forgot that I actually wanted to do before I closed it. I'd like to try, like, Jezza takes, like, a finger and she pushes it into the velveteen where the liquid from one of the potions is broken.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kind of, like the tip of her tongue just, like, licks it. Does anything happen?
The tip of your tongue goes ever so slightly numb, and there's kind of like an antiseptic taste that kind of clings to the roof of your mouth and the insides of your cheeks. The buccal surfaces.
Yeah.
Oh, this tastes
Spitting
like
and
broken glass.
spitting, just
Tastes like
spitting it out
what?
and just going, bleh. All right. And I'm going to head back towards the beach camp and wait for everyone to get back with knowledge of this trunk that I found.
Okay. By the time you get back to the beach, to the hut, you see that like a meeting has broken up, and there's a bunch of people kind of scattering to the four winds. Most of them look determined, but you know, it's like sometimes when you walk in at the very tail end of a conversation, you kind of get that feeling like, oh, did I miss something?
Yeah. I get back and I try and, like, wave someone. I'm like, what happened?
I imagine Alexis tells you not to talk to strangers about monks.
Oh, I thought it was. I didn't realize the party was back. I thought it was like the boat crew.
No, you're arriving as the party's breaking up,
Oh, okay.
getting ready to do what they agreed to do, but you were not there for that.
Yeah. All right, then I go find my little guy here real quick and make sure he's still in his nest, sleeping, and or is not doing what a baby does, which is get into everything.
For the moment, it remains asleep. It has rolled belly up in the nest. Seems quite
Okay.
comfortable.
Okay. I'm gonna go find Alexis.
Alexis is here. Hello.
New
Hey.
phone, who dis?
Tapping her on the arm. What did I miss?
Oh. I like this new guy. You might not like this new guy.
New guy.
I lean over and I
Wait.
whisper, "You definitely won't like this new guy."
There's a new guy. We met a new guy. He's coming with us.
Oh. What does he do?
Where are we going?
Yeah, where are we going? We're on an island. Do you have a boat I don't know about?
Yes. No. So there's this. Remember that hole that fell? That big hole. We're gonna go kill some chimera.
Possibly something else.
I don't know that.
Kind
Or
of
no
like,
chimera.
Maybe not Chimera at all.
like
There's some. So the
I motion.
seer,
Yeah,
the seer
real quick to
said there are
interrupt you.
things
Yeah,
in the
real quick to-
hole, and we need to kill the stuff in the hole. That's me interrupting you, by the way, like in
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, I said chimera, and you nod at me. I point at that one and I go, not that one.
Not that one. That one's exempt.
Okay.
He
Thought we were
said
gonna
she
have a
cares not about the well playing, quote unquote.
Yeah. And then I remember I pull out the glass tube and I say, "Ooh, I found a crate. It had money. It had a bunch of other stuff I couldn't carry with it. I don't have enough pockets for all that stuff."
I just kind of look at it. I'm like, wow, finders keepers, I guess.
Yeah. If we're going that way, we should stop by. There might be stuff we can use. I saw some potions, but I wasn't opening them. There was 2 that broke, and I didn't want to break anything else.
My eyes
break a
widen a
lot.
little bit, and I'm like, potions? I've been asking for those.
I said, I don't know. I didn't touch them. I break things I touch. Just
Did you
we'll
cut your
go there
finger
on the way over.
Did you cut your finger on one of the glass bottles?
No. For once.
That's the usual reoccurring theme. You usually definitely cut your finger on glass. I should know.
I have gotten very good at not doing that.
Fair play, fair play. And then we go over to the
Yeah.
the thingy. I think while we're walking over there, I'm kind of like hurriedly explaining as one would want to do with their best friend with no aim, trying to explain this elf man that we've met.
Okay, is that my internet or is that Lav?
I
Lav.
think that's
Lav.
Yeah.
What happened?
You were
Did I
going
cut-
you were going robot-y for a minute.
Oh
like
boy!
half and half.
Did
You're
you
good
at least-
now.
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me
No,
just.
can you repeat yourself?
Is everyone as a party following? Like, I'm sorry. I'm just want to make sure that I'm clear about who was talking to who. Is this just Alexis and Jezza talking, or did you speak to the entirety of the party?
Sounds
From what
like
I
it's just the
understand,
two
it
of
was
them,
just
yeah?
the two of us.
I'm assuming it was just the two of us because I have not yet met Marius. Jesus.
Say it 3 times. Okay. So then just the two of you are headed down the beach 30 minutes to try to find the treasure trove that Jezza found?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's pause this and go back to everyone else. You guys were getting ready, geared up to go back towards the tidal cave where you slew the chimera. What preparations do you guys need to make, if any?
Oh, Marius is just going to clean himself.
Wipe away all of this filth. Okay.
We need to secure a rope so that we can all climb down with ease.
We should all have some rope.
I'm an
Once
explorer's pack.
everybody that's still at the beach is as prepared as they're going to be, I guess it's time to group up. You notice the absence of 2 of your normal traveling companions. The thick as thieves duo of Alexis and Jezza are not present. Double check the hut of the seer. They are not there. They are not working on the boat with the crew at the Dauntless 2.0. They are seemingly nowhere to be found. Kig draws their picture on the back of a milk carton and goes about his day.
Bye.
That's why this episode is called Bye, Felicia.
All right. I was not instructed 6 or 7 times by that seer that all of our talents were needed together, only to have 2 of the party go wander off and get lost.
Yeah, what does she know?
Regis
So far,
randomly
everything?
calls out, Alexis! Jezza!
All right. Whilst you guys are doing that, screaming out, you wait for 5-10 minutes. There's no response to your screams. They're nowhere to be found. You guys have to decide what you're going to do. Do you want to head towards the cave? Do you want to start combing the beach looking for them?
What happened between them conversating and now? I thought we were all meeting up. Where did they go? I think we should
Nope.
come to the beach.
Ignore that.
At least look for them. Try to look for them.
It's just two best friends walking down the beach.
All right. Well, you guys decide that you're going to maybe try looking for them. We're going to jump back to the other group. Alexis and Jezza walking along the southern edge of the crescent tip of this island. Jezza trying to remember where exactly she found that salvage. Has a good memory. pretty sure you guys are very close to it now. Just above the sound of the crashing waves and the seagulls, you can hear your name being called off, mostly carried on the wind. Like you're too far to hear it directly, but almost in a ghostly, haunting way, you can hear Jazza, Alexis, where are you?
Uh-oh.
So you said there was this crate, and you said it would take 30 minutes to get there. Where is it?
I did not say a time because I don't know how to tell time.
That's a fair point.
You said 30 minutes, and you didn't know how long it took you to get there?
What's that thing you always say? Time is relative? Isn't that one of
Mhm.
those things? To me, it's been a lovely morning. Now keep walking. It should be here close.
Nice. Eventually, Jezza, you find the trove. It's still right where you left it on the dried sand. There are still some slight drag marks through the wet sand where you were able to beach it fully.
Yeah.
Opening
Haha,
it up,
got it.
everything is still what you'd expect to find. You removed, I think you said, the cylinder of coins and the 2 red potions.
What'd you say the last name was on the zipper bag that has all of the toiletries in it?
There was no name on the bag, but the shirt that was tucked in it has cufflinks that have a family crest, Pogovar.
I'm gonna take that, as well as the potions.
Damn.
Okay.
I-
2 milky white potions and just the cufflinks, or all of the clothing?
The cufflinks and the zipper bag with
Okay.
with
You can add
the
grooming
stuff.
kit and noble family cufflinks to your inventory.
Okay.
Alexa starts walking away, and I just kind of I stop and I motion, and I'm like, the crate! It's got 2 handles!
I took what I thought was the most important.
I do the whole I almost do the Will Smith thing when he was
Or
motioning.
you just do
I just have my hands crate, good crate.
Okay. And then I just kind of roll my eyes and I walk back, and then I try to help Jezza, drag this thing back.
Working together, it's not hard. It doesn't weigh enough that you guys aren't even wearing adventuring gear right now, so it's super easy to take back towards the camp if you wish.
Okay.
That's our goal.
Meanwhile,
You guys have organized the Dauntless crew into 3 search parties that are going to head off in the 3 cardinal directions while you guys head to the northern side of the island, both because that's where the entrance to the tidal cave of the Chimeras is, and the last remaining direction to look for your missing comrades. You give everybody, crafted wooden whistles so that if they find either them or danger, they can alert you guys so you can respond. Just as you finish briefing the entirety of the search parties, you see 2 silhouettes coming up the beach, carrying between them a large footlocker. One much smaller than the other. You're fairly certain you know who they are.
My one open hand, I'm waving my stick above my head, going, I found something!
I'm just
Once they
kinda
get close enough,
rolling my eyes.
everybody can see that it is a large marine-style footlocker, a nautical footlocker rather, that no longer has a lock on it, has a ship's crest on it, naming it the Jack Row, and that's about all I got for you.
Well, Marius is going to open it.
Go ahead.
As Marius approaches, I kind of look at him. I kind of stop moving. Alexis one step ahead of me. My quarterstaff. I point. This the new guy?
This the new guy.
I drop the thing with my one other hand, without telling you, by the way.
Ouch.
Fall to the floor, getting dragged down.
Yeah. Put my hand out to shake Marius. Nice to meet you.
harmed. Yes, of course. Marius to Pagavar. If you don't mind, I'd like to know whose remains you've been digging through.
I look at the box. I look at Jezza. Well,
Look at yourself.
yeah,
Robbed them twice.
I'm like, I don't know who they belong to. It came out of the ocean. I'm sorry I didn't have an address.
So,
It says here Jack Rowe.
Yeah,
Ah,
Jack Rowe.
32
having
Waterloo Lane,
having a little
Sydney.
bit more tact, I'm gonna have remembered what his last name was. I'm gonna throw him the bag of the grooming kit, which I purposely still had taken out of the thing. It was on me. I'm like, does that look familiar to you?
Right.
oh, wonderful. You've recovered my baggage. I am very grateful to you both. I don't suppose you left everything intact.
There was 2 broken bottles. I took the money. There was a chair. It's a very cool chair, by the way. Yeah, that's it. Everything else I think is still in there. Nothing fit me. I didn't take any of the clothes.
I am not surprised.
And then I also walk up directly in front of him, kind of grab his hand, but not like forcefully, and I just kind of put the cufflinks. I'm like, I think these are yours too, and then I remove these from my inventory.
Okay.
You.
They went
And then
through
I
your
give him a look, and I'm like, well, to be in my defense, I wasn't planning on taking the entire box.
That. I suppose I'm thankful. And. No, I will keep that one quiet. We're all here. Let's. You lot crew, could you put this somewhere safe? We have a hole to explore.
I snicker.
I elbow you in the arm or shoulder, I guess.
Head.
Also, being very quiet, I cup my hand towards you. Why does he talk like you?
I don't
Some
talk like that
remember-
all the time.
Some members of the Dauntless crew just kind of responding to authority in the lack of any real leadership so far, just snatch up the footlocker and start dragging it up the beach to the hut. One of those kind of pre-programmed social responses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what we got. We metagame need to decide what we want to do with Feisty's character.
I believe
In-
he wants to be passed out still.
Okay. I couldn't
He's
remember what his preference was.
We're gonna
think
give
that
him
was
a
the-
Viking funeral, even though he's still alive, and he's gonna come back and be like, "Why am I dead?"
I feel like before there was an actual player death, he said he was fine if I NPC'd him. Then you kill one player character, and suddenly it's like, hey, if I'm not there, I don't want anybody playing my stuff.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right.
Did say before I left that I would like to background heal.
I still think it was entirely and exclusively Kig's fault.
It wasn't there. He had a health potion. It wasn't there.
Yeah. So I do believe we
That's why
took
it's
all of the. I do believe we took all of the potions out of the crate. And I'm just the 2 white swirly ones and the 2 pinky red ones.
Yeah,
I mean,
to my
you
understanding,
have
you
them.
have the 2 red ones, and I thought Alexis had the 2 white ones.
I mean, I guess I could have the 2 white ones. Do I put white potion in my my item?
Which ones did you take, Lav?
I think I took the pink ones mainly because
Alright,
they
then
looked
I
health
took-
potion-y.
Yeah, I took the swirly white ones.
Okay.
Air quotes, swirly white potions.
What did those do?
I don't
I
know.
know of only one way to find out.
Well, I will. Maybe when it's way too late, I'll drink one then. Anyways, you were saying, Dry?
Onward to glory.
Yeah, onward to glory, I think, is the clarion call for this afternoon. If everybody is set to go, we'll go back to the cave.
Yep.
Same methodology as we found it before. You guys arrive at thankfully low tide again, having no problem accessing the cave the same way you did the first time. Going deep into the innards of the Chimera lair, you find yourselves in an all too familiar position.
How far does prestidigitation go if I were to throw like a tiny little ball of light to go down the hole?
Digitation.
10
feet. That's the answer.
I was gonna say it was either 10 or 30. Yeah.
I
Couldn't
throw
remember.
a prestidigitation ball of light down the hole, just like one of those crack lights,
Glow stick.
glow stick. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
I like
I just
crack
kinda
lights.
I like
crack
crack
light
lights.
also. Yeah.
So I just kind of throw it down. It even looks like a glow stick, but it's of magical energy, and it's gonna go down. And I'm guessing it's just gonna stop at 10 feet.
Oh, hang on. I don't think I made a token for you. I did not.
Hey, I know
sorry,
that guy.
me?
Yeah.
I have a token. Hold on.
Okay. All right, kids. One quick second.
Yeah, Sventes, I forgot to mention that some aspects may look a bit familiar. Leave me alone. Original OC, do not steal.
I somehow missed the joke, but okay.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's a Final
I
Fantasy
get it.
14 reference.
Perfect. As I said, 10 out of 10. I'm totally on board with this. Let's go.
I am so on board with this. Well played, sir. Oh, this is gonna be great. I realized are we trying to make like a token for? And then I saw the picture that was on the thing, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't know why, but it is not uploading right now. Do not game.
That's weird.
I would say 75-80% of the time, no problem whatsoever. Just dragging files in and it's super accommodating, and then every once in a while it just will not do a thing.
Well, we can use the weird square one for a session. It's fine.
Why does Leo have wings on him?
Because he's
I
not.
was
Because
flying.
he
he's
was flying.
Mm-hmm.
He is no longer flying,
Oh.
unless he just drank some Red Bull.
It does give you wings.
I don't think so.
You don't think Red Bull gives you wings, or you don't think you have wings?
I don't think I currently have wings. I mean, I 100% believe that
Hmm.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't drink it, because I don't want to fly away by accident.
That seems reasonable.
Fly away.
Okay, that should work. Sorry about the delay, kids. We reconvene. I'm not going to require athletics checks to get to where we were, but you now stand before the vast hole that was shattered, looking down in, feeling the interior portion of this floor break. It feels like you're standing on the top of a large dome of some sort. There's no, even Alexis's vast vision cannot see the bottom.
How long's a rope that anyone has?
I think 50 feet would be the longest singular segment.
All right, who has the best night vision?
I do.
All right, we're tying the rope to you, and I'm lowering you down.
Oh boy.
Do you agree with this?
Do you consent?
Begrudgingly.
Do you consent?
Begrudgingly.
All right, that's what we're doing.
All right, Leo, from you, I'd like a sleight of hand if you're proficient, otherwise just a dexterity check to demonstrate the strength of the knots you're tying. I recommend square for joining knots, probably, and then the knot you tie to Alexis before you dangle her like a carrot into the depths of Satan's butthole.
I'm gonna ask Kig the sword to help me tie these knots because he seems to be really good and nimble.
Sure, what do you want me to roll?
Sleight of hand if you're proficient in that, otherwise just raw dex.
I'm not proficient. Just raw dex. Is that good enough?
That is a saving throw, but we can extrapolate from there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can never.
No, you're good. That's going to be plenty good. You tie several lengths. Do you want to go 3 lengths or 4 lengths? Do you want 150 feet or 200 feet of rope? Well, minus the length lost in knot tying.
197 feet.
Okay, we'll assume 4 lengths of rope were used. You tie a good, solid bowline for Alexis, and lowering her down. As long as everybody's participating, there won't be a check required to lower her. Alexis, I think the best way to handle this is to have you give me a perception check. I know
Okie
that sight
dokie.
limit is sight limit, but
Perception. Oh, that's pretty good.
it takes them a while to safely lower you. It feels like it's been minutes. There's this sort of tense nervousness about you just floating in inky blackness. Someone like you is not comfortable in a world where she can see nothing, being so far away from the walls and the floor that all you see is the same darkness that someone without your gifts would see. But eventually, you start to make something out far, far below you still. You think you're seeing possibly the floor or base level of whatever is upcoming. It starts to become a little more clear. You see crumbled rock debris and several pieces of smashed stalactite on the ground, as well as some just bioluminescent marine bacteria. Kind of looks like a chitinous mold, just kind of creeping all over the place. Now that you're close enough, it's casting just very, very, very faint green illumination everywhere. And that's when suddenly there's a jerk at your waist. They have stopped for some reason.
How far away am I from the ground?
30 feet.
That's 3 stories, isn't it?
Roughly.
Roughly.
Oh, great. Oh, very uncomfortable. Can I preemptively cast Mage Armor on myself just on the off chance I might get murdered?
It's difficult because of how you're bound, but yeah, you can get it off. You're grateful no one was around to see the spastic casting.
Cool beans. I'm gonna be very audacious and kind of put a light in my finger to see if I can see a little bit better.
Are you casting light? Is that what you're?
I don't have light. I'm talking prestidigitation light again.
Oh, I
It's
see.
like a poof of light, like a pop.
Mm-hmm. It sort of goes off like a small camera flash, For a minute, you can see a much vaster area. There's you can't describe it other than it looks like a stone walkway, like a carved stone path is what lies beneath you. If you didn't know any better, you would think it looked like, like an ancient road. Like deliberately crafted bricks stacked in sequence to create sort of a nice tiled motif that stretches on for as far as you can see ahead of you and a small ways behind you.
So this is going to be a roll probably, but is there any way I can kind of, because from before I remembered that this island may be a part of 3 barrier like protection islands. Can I do some kind of roll to see if it matches the architecture potentially? Like this road would obviously look like something, right?
Absolutely.
And
Make a wisdom check with advantage
okay.
because of your keen memory.
If I could find, you said wisdom, right?
Yes, please.
Oh well, great.
You do recall the drawings from the book, and from what very little you can see, it looks similar, although you have very few points of connectivity to go on. Like this looks like a road, and the image also had stone walkways in it, but every civilized nation on the planet has stone walkways of some kind, so it's hard to say definitively, but you're optimistic.
Okay. So now, obviously, since I'm not hitting the ground, I'm gonna kind of just jerk on the rope to see if they'll pull me back up.
Leo, you'd be the one I imagine at the precipice. You have spent all this time lowering Alexis. You can't see her anymore. You don't even really you have a hard time seeing the pinpoints of light that she creates. And you have lowered her about as low as you dare go. You've got, 5 feet of rope left in your hand. Some of it's wrapped around your waist. But
And I just tugged on it, didn't I?
almost everybody else has had to let go just so that you had extra slack to lower down in the hole. You're bearing the entirety of the weight now, and you feel 2 sharp tugs on the rope.
I'm gonna start, instead of just like pulling it with my arms, I'm just gonna like wrap the rope around me and start like backing up, pulling her out that way.
I thought we agreed that 2 sharp chugs was mission failure or cut the line. All hope was lost.
Oh, you're right.
Oh no! No!
I'm just gonna let go.
The story of Alexa was lost.
All right. Because you're just going to back up using sort of your own body weight as a counter lever, I won't require an athletics check. Plus, you got the whole team there to help you.
Okay.
Just walk it backwards until there's enough slack for everybody to start just going hand over hand, and slowly and surely, Alexis is raised back up. Go ahead.
Sorry, really quick. As you're seeing my head pop out, you're just seeing like, because Alexis is somewhat of an academic. She's very much like, she kind of always has like history and books and stuff. So she's like already popping out and kind of just has like stars in her eyes and is about to say something, like just like already starting to talk as you're dragging her out.
But eventually, yeah, you drag her up over the lip of the crater, back onto safety. You take a look at the rope, though, having the singular descent and then ascent with that rope just grinding over that jagged edge has frayed it slightly. You look at the party and say, "Frayed so." How do we proceed?
I'm explaining everything I saw, and I'm throwing in my little tidbits of I think this island might actually be like a barrier island of some kind. I think this island was actually like defensive barrier to this ancient elven kingdom.
Ancient elven kingdom. Underground.
Interesting.
I don't think it was originally underground, Leo.
But if it's underground, might be
because there's been a lot of time since we were here. Yeah, right. Taking this one for the dwarves, guys.
What did Leo say?
Planting my flag.
Said if it's underground, then it might be Dwarven
the
Kingdom.
image that Alexis is referencing from the ancient text that you guys found in the Athenaeum. This told the tale of an ancient civilization advanced in both science and magic that predates the elves. The rumor is that the elves' gift in magic and their knowledge of the world came from this, first race, but that all of it was lost in a cataclysmic disaster, that they were probably victims of their own hubris, is kind of how the cautionary tale goes, and that their entire kingdom was destroyed, and that it caused a cataclysm on a global scale that forced several of these temples that were previously at sea level to be sunk far beneath the waves.
I know this is supposed to actually be Atlantis, but it reminds me of Tenoctilan.
Noctilus?
Floating city. Aztec floating city.
Yep.
All right, going back to here, how do we want to proceed?
Man, we don't have any more flying potions, do we? Or flying scrolls?
We do
think
not
we're at-
have any more scrolls of flying, that's true.
We're completely out of that.
Well, we've got enough rope to kind of
Reed,
go down there.
seeing the fraying of the rope, comes up with the idea and suggests to the party of maybe using a softer barrier to place against the edge of the rock, such as his bedroll,
I like that idea.
to protect them from descent and any further damage to the rope.
We add more rope to it as well.
Unless you guys took my rope, I believe I have some on me too.
Yeah, we've got 10
Adding
clothes.
50, 40 some odd feet to the rope. Done.
And then maybe we can tie it off to a stalagmite or something. So we can just kind of climb down the hole.
Sure.
You cast
There's-
magic armor on the rope.
Nice. Cast mage armor on what? On the rope.
Nice.
Gotta make it real tough. There are plenty of good anchor points to tie off the rope, so that shouldn't be a problem. If the intention is to climb down, I will need athletics.
Gosh dang
check.
it! Sorry,
No, you're good.
I just keep accidentally clicking buttons.
Oh, you burned the rope.
You'll need a what?
Whoops.
Oh no.
Athletics checks from anybody who attempts to descend the rope.
And I continue to use my acrobatics instead.
We couldn't. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Rope is kind of an aerialist thing.
Thanks.
I guess Leah's gonna climb down too.
Oh my.
I guess Leah's gonna fall down too.
Okay.
Reed rolled first. He's going to go down first.
Yeah. Here's the thing, kids. Reed, you are halfway down to the bottom. When you can feel the rope start to sink a little bit, like something heavy was just added to the line. You look up, like to say one at a time, please, or I'm not done yet. Just in time to see what light exists from the top of the shaft being completely obscured by the silhouette of a tumbling dwarf. You hear, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, in Dwarven, as the form just comes rushing downward at you. I will give you 3 choices, Reed. The first choice is do nothing and see what I do with that. The second choice is to use your monk-like tenacity to spin your body in such a way that you move yourself out of the path of the falling dwarf that is a wrecking ball. And the third option is to move yourself into the path of the falling dwarf in an attempt to grab him and
Don't hurt
arrest his
yourself.
descent.
I'm definitely going to move myself into
Out of the way.
path.
Option 2.
As
Oh, dear.
Totally out of the way, right?
No, because that's not Reed's nature.
Oh, you're gonna die. I'm sorry.
Oh
You're
god!
gonna die.
I'll be fine.
He's a dwarf. Yeah, he'll be fine.
I'm pretty sturdy.
It's a long way to fall.
Yeah. But now, two of us could probably be hurt a lot instead of just one of us. And you're our only
Can
healer.
Can I try to like sidestep a little bit,
Can he
like
wedge
swing
his
a little bit,
staff?
and then reach out and grab at the
Sidestep.
same time?
That would give you like the worst case scenario chance to grab him. I think you have to basically be under him if you're trying to catch him, or away from him if you're going to try to dodge him.
I'm going to try to catch him.
Okay. You are smaller than him. He is falling and has almost reached terminal velocity. I need you to make a strength check, not athletics. Strength check with disadvantage.
What is the terminal velocity of a half tour falling down a random hole in a
About 130
Yeah, same as everything else.
miles.
African or European?
Just wish me luck, guys.
Nice.
Oh,
Taking you with
holy
me.
hell!
Okay, unfortunately, a 3 is a catastrophic failure.
Yeah,
You
yeah, it is.
put
wish it
yourself
was a
into
1.
perfect position.
I wish it was a 1.
Yeah, you lock your legs in the rope to free up both of your hands to try to grab him, and for a moment there is a truly beautiful feat of aerial acrobatics as both of your hands grab his outstretched, flailing dwarven arms, and the recoil of that impact swings the rope far to one side like a pendulum. And then the sheer mass and force of him coming into contact with you with that much speed just rips your thighs right off of that rope, and you join him in free fall.
Do I have any chance to try to recover myself?
You will each
I
get
think that was your 3.
you will each get at the very last moment one dexterity saving throw to attempt to find purchase on the rope one last time, taking rope burn damage before you impact the stone floor and almost certain death.
Okay.
Oh jeez.
Did I roll for that now?
Yes, both of you can make dexterity saving throws.
Oh shit! Not at disadvantage. Fuck.
I think that's fair. Let's keep it at disadvantage. I
By
mean, in
disadvantage.
fairness, the first number would be the number rolled anyway, so you rolled an 8.
Disadvantage for me as well.
Christ.
No, normal roll.
All right.
Ooh. Sorry.
I hate you.
I told you to get out of the way.
So, Dax, you have a second character in mind, or
I
Oh,
got a health potion.
the
I have a bunch of potions.
you somehow managed to fall faster than Leo. Maybe you like just by default went into like a streamlined diving situation, hoping to catch the recoiled rope. You mistimed it horribly, but you ended up getting ahead of him somehow. You're careening out of control. You see the ground rushing up at you because there's a bunch of weird sort of bioluminescent fungus all along the bottom of that you're just starting to see. Once you're within 60 feet of it, your dark vision kicks in. You can see the light cast by them. It is rushing up at you. The air suddenly gets cold and stale and dark, and you think about everything you should have done differently with your life. You consider every wrong decision that has brought you to this moment, that you are going to pancake at the bottom of this cave that no one will ever probably bother to recover, because it's a hell of a trip down here just to scoop up some flat reed. You close your eyes, and your last thought is of your family.
Did I spend a key point and try to dodge the ground?
Dodge the ground.
Wait, hold on. So
Okay.
Reed, you open your eyes and find yourself lying right next to Leo. Both of you are hovering about 3 inches off the ground,
Hovering, huh?
floating gently. The back of your legs and arms, the exposed areas, feel like there's a cool breeze being washed against them. And you can feel your body softly descend into an inch of moss. It's cold and wet.
Reed's convinced he's dead.
It feels as you move around, there's an almost static electricity kind of discharge here. And ahead of you, you see the same cobbled stone walkway that Alexis described, and about 60 feet ahead of you, there's a very obviously human-made, elaborate stone archway, and there are 3 green gems in this archway that are producing a very, very, very faint lime green light.
You said we have a static electricity feeling going through us.
Yeah.
From Leo definitely thinks it was Zaz's ghost that saved us from beyond the grave.
I'm up top tying the rope to some kind of rock, oblivious to what's going on.
I'd like to imagine that I wouldn't just kill you outright because you have a class feature you didn't remember. But I might.
Would. I think you're being very kind to us right now.
You hear a series of concerned screams from above that are almost lost between the distance and the echo of this massive cave. But it sounds like your friends above are calling after you.
I look at Leo.
You can
and,
hear
like,
one voice
are
over
we-
the other saying, "Why bother? They're almost certainly dead."
I look at Leo and I was like, "Are we dead? I've heard the dead can hear the voices of the living when they think of them."
No, I don't think we're dead, but we might as well be.
I kick a rock down the hole. This is just me just perusing what I think Alexis would be doing, waiting for people to go. I'm just kicking a rock down there.
And then, a moment of frustration and irritation at what Leo just said, Reed swiftly punches him in the arm. "You dwarfish oaf!"
Ah, good. They are alive.
It's
I'm enjoying your montage of swan dive deaths.
Yeah, 100%.
While you guys are arguing at the bottom, you thump Leo in the shoulder. Leo, you get a tingling danger sense as a barbarian, and dodge slightly to the right as a stone impacts right where you were standing. It was going to hit you as you were sitting upright, but as it comes within inches of the floor, the moss here suddenly illuminates bright green, and the stone ceases to move, just orbiting right off the ground until it very, very slowly, over the course of several seconds, descends to contact.
I'm gonna yell up the whole cavern and be like, "Hey, there's a magic thing down here. It stops people from moving. Stop!
Yes, that's
You
the
can jump.
floor.
Stop kicking rocks!"
I love it. Yes, that is
Also,
the floor.
whoever kicked that rock down here, you almost hit me.
"Pick another!"
I'm like, okay, and I just kick another.
Don't. Might actually kill someone.
Kicking a second stone, same thing happens. It comes hurtling down the chamber. You guys are trying to anticipate to dodge it. Both of you get out of the way of the shaft for the most part. And same as before, the stone is arrested just short of impacting the floor, and the entire basin here that's covered in this bioluminescent fungus flashes bright green, slows it down, gently drops it down. No real change in the room, except you notice that where there were previously 3 faintly glowing crystals in the archway, you now only see 2 faintly green glowing crystals in the archway. The
I tell them
leftmost
to-
one has extinguished.
I yell at them to stop kicking rocks down here. You're using up the magic batteries.
The magic batteries.
"Okay, guys, you may want to climb down carefully. Try not to fall.
2 of you guys can jump down here without any harm. Just 2.
Don't risk it."
Okay, I'm gonna
Risk
use
it
my
for the
acrobatics
biscuit.
and climb down
That's
Athletics check?
slowly. Athletics? Acrobatics, you mean?
Athletics.
Athletics.
Am I not allowed to use acrobatics either?
No, I was letting him because of his monk background.
Oh, okay.
If you were a monk, I'd say you could substitute also, but
Okie dokie. I'm friends with a monk. Does that count?
No.
surprisingly,
Why are
not
you
as much as
rolling
you'd
at
think.
disadvantage?
Alexis
Oh,
says 13 is enough to very slowly, hand over hand, climb all 200 feet all the way down.
I kind of walk up to Leo. I'm like, I kicked her.
I'm gonna push Alexa on the ground.
Don't do that. You're gonna kill the magic batteries.
Just with one hand, just kind of just give her a nice little shove, a non-threatening shove
Mm-hmm.
to have her experience the magic.
I look over at Kig and I just motion like, you next.
The anticipated result occurs. You're on
And
a
I'd be like,
waterbed of force.
And I'm just gonna be like, see, magic. You explain it to them. You do the magic thing.
No damage.
Thank you.
Athletics from anybody else who wants to try to descend the rope.
I did it way up there.
Uh,
I rolled a 24.
Oh yeah, you're good.
Oh, kind and benevolent GM
He's not here right now.
or DM. Whatever.
What's up?
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are we?
So it looks like Kig succeeded and Jezza
Yeah,
failed.
Jezza rolled a 4. I just want to point that out.
Oh.
That is I didn't realize as a monk I could use acrobatics. Can I? Will
You
they?
can keep the roll, but does the number change it to be 12 or better?
What was the?
You rolled a
I
4.
rolled.
Looks like +0.
It would be 12 exactly.
Okay,
What?
that's perfect. That's what you need to.
Hmm.
Nice.
For the record, that would have been what I rolled if I did acrobatics. Why I asked.
You are able to descend.
Jenna the monk.
Should have been a nut monk.
No, right?
Who else? Is that everybody?
That's everyone.
Oh, no,
Just
it's not
missing
Marius.
Fancy
Yep.
Pants.
It is now.
It is now. The rope is exceedingly coarse on your hands. This is the closest to like manual labor you ever want to be. But you gracefully descend the rope without incident. Everybody else is sweating and disheveled. You descend ever so graciously without there even being rope fibers in your coat.
Well, now point me to this ancient magic, please.
I like to non-threateningly shove him to the ground.
Okay. You attempt to push Marius over. Marius, do you want to resist or do you trust the magic?
Yeah, sure. Let's trust it.
Okay. You just kind of free fall backwards. Trust fall exercise. The cave glows soft green. Your fall is arrested just inches away from the stone surface of the cave, and you are gently lowered onto the stone surface.
Fascinating. Perhaps I should have jumped after all. Although I'm glad I didn't. Thank you for that, dwarf.
There's a stone made and intricately carved stone archway about 20 feet ahead of you. There are 2 green gems at like a 10 and 2 o'clock position on the archway that have now completely faded to just dull emeralds. And there is one softly illuminated gem at the 12 o'clock position of the arch, still faintly glowing.
That sounds like something that I should go investigate.
Saz would have loved those emeralds.
Oh my gosh, you would have loved those emeralds.
I am a little bit bummed he's not here.
You killed him.
I did not.
I'm sorry, Kig, you killed him because you weren't here for your
Tell them,
health potion.
damn.
You just had to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I took him to 0 hit points. You murdered him. All right. At the bottom here, we're 20 feet away from the stone archway. They are roughly teardrop shaped, polished gemstones. Your amateur guess, without further inspection, is that they are in fact emeralds of some kind. Obviously, enchanted by some kind of magic. Do you want to spend some time trying to guess what exactly their function is, or do you just want to look at?
No. I think a better plan is to start fiddling with my star map and recording all my observations and where we're going.
Okay.
I'm also going to take this opportunity because it's really freaking dark in here. Marius is going to pretty loudly proclaim, "Fine, if none of you thought to bring a torch, then witness the stars!" And I'm going to take my star form because I'm a balanced druid. The short version of that 4-paragraph essay is I take a starry form of my current character with a giant constellation of a chalice above my head for a second, and I now emit 10 feet worth of bright light and 10 feet further of dim light.
That is pretty handy. This is not a slight at you because of your race, but the emeralds are ensconced high up a 12-foot arch. You'd have to climb the archway to be able to touch them, which
Okay.
I believe
I
you're
climb.
capable of doing.
Definitely climb.
Leo will even like hoist you up on his shoulders and then throw you.
No,
I was
you will
waiting
not
for
throw me.
it. You scamper up the archway. It looks like rather than it being manufactured, it's kind of just been hewn out of a natural arch in the stoneway here, made decorative, and these gems were inset in them. The green emerald teardrops, the two that are now dormant, feel cold to the touch, but very like smooth, very highly polished.
Can he grab one for me?
I was gonna say, are they loose?
They are inset in the archway.
Firmly inset. Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying that like there's not a demolition force on Earth that couldn't unseat them, but it's not a simple matter of plucking it.
Reed has a brief flash of his friends and tugs gently on the green emerald before giving up if it resists and jumping down and rejoining the party.
Marius, question. Did
Go.
you? What was the form you took on that? If you don't mind me asking.
This is the starry form, which is the Circle of Stars version of Wild Shape, but I keep my own form.
Okay.
Oh, he said chalice.
He said chalice.
Oh, yes.
That was what I saw there was
Sorry,
like
it took me a minute to get there too.
Yeah, I thought you were talking like, are you a starry eagle?
no, I was trying to figure out
sorry,
which of the three
Marius.
forms you took.
Yep, chalice.
All right.
Well, I think we should go down this hallway.
In the path that you guys are standing on, you look behind you, and there's a massive collapse. A broad tectonic shift has shunted whatever was behind this deep into the earth, leaving you only a massive slab of island. But before you, the path continues into a much larger domed area. The like carpet of fungus that lives on the bottom of this floor and on the walls of the cave up to about hip height glow in a preceding pattern. Like in 4-foot segments at a time, it illuminates, trying to show you a path moving forward. Like emergency lights on a plane in a forward cascading pattern every 4 feet.
and I think we should follow it.
I walk along
Absolutely.
the glowy path.
I walk along the glowy path. It's the only one I've ever known.
That was exactly what I was going for. Thank you.
I saw that coming.
I feel like I am outmatched in a company of mages, so I'm just gonna follow along.
You
It's funny because we only have 2 of them right now.
arrive in a much broader, roughly circular shaped room. There's beautifully marbled pillars lining this, that they look ancient, but there's very little damage to time or abuse anywhere on them. There's stone circles, seeming, again, pristine, but you have no idea of their function. And a small gate completing a wall that terminates the path ahead of you.
Shall we go explore?
Yeah, I think Leo's gonna walk up to the gate.
Marius is going to go as well as the light.
I don't need no light from you.
Okay.
I definitely don't need any light, but I
I'm
will.
As you
gonna-
approach the large metallic gate, there's a sudden shaking. All of the fungus, for lack of a better term, all of this illuminated biomaterial on the ground goes dormant. It's producing no light and it's no longer signaling you anywhere. At the center, I don't have a marker. Give me 1 second. This will work. The floor warps ever so slightly, creating a pool of liquid in a concave section of the tile. This liquid seems animated. On its own, it swirls until it coalesces into a small gemstone. The water then, it looks to freeze, becoming solid matter. But as it floats in the air on its own accord, it polishes and looks like a beautiful gemstone. It flashes twice, and then nothing.
Well, 2 flashes is the same as 2 tugs, so he's trying to tell us to pull it out.
Give it a
Pull
try.
out, huh?
There is then a buzzing, a very loud tone that sounds aggressive and reverberating. It's got almost exclusively high-end tones. You can kind of feel it in your chest shaking, and then it flashes twice again.
This sounds like a confrontation.
Poke at it, Leo.
It
All right.
happens a second time while you guys are debating. This time when it flashes, its color becomes less blue and more pale.
I want to poke it.
Pale?
Marius is going to back away.
Pour
You
the Milky
touch
Way
it,
potion on it.
it makes a
I
single
go.
chime sound, and then
I
that
had
shrill, shrieking scream, for lack of a better word, happens again. It makes that pulsing flash twice, and the color of the gemstone becomes amber.
Amber. Do you think this could be some sort of security system, Leo?
I feel like it
Poking
might be
at,
a
some
puzzle of some
ancient-
sort.
An ancient guardian that's gonna pop out if it turns blood red or something.
I feel like it's a puzzle.
For
And
whatever reason unknowns to him, Reed feels compelled.
Can
He's
I-
going to try to concentrate his key and touch the stone with his hands aglow.
Is it hot, Reed?
I don't know.
Are you
Is it
touching
hot?
it with the intention to damage it, or just touching it to touch it?
Touching it to touch it.
It is warm, and as you touch it, it glows, flashing twice again, and its shape is amorphous for a second. It's somewhere between a liquid and a solid, for a fraction of a second, then it shrieks again and becomes red.
Uh-oh.
That's when everything in the room begins to shake, knocking loose centuries of dust and detritus. The two stone rings on the left and right side of the room begin to spin, one ring moving clockwise, the other moving anti-clockwise. Small cracklings of green lightning begin to form as between the interlocking wheels as they spin clockwise and anti-clockwise, until eventually a small disk of lime green energy is formed that immediately zips straight up to a height of about 12 feet and then straight back down to the platform, revealing the skeletal frames of some kind of mechanical constructs. And once that disk of light dissipates, all of the energy is absorbed into what looks like the circulatory system of these constructed creatures, animating them, bringing them to life.
Out of character. Cool. Oh, except right next to me. Oh, butts.
In character. Oh shit.
Good
Look
luck
over
with
to
Elf, touch it.
Kate and be like, yeah, definitely a security system.
Right, I nod my head. Right.
Alexis looks directly at the DM and it's like, "Ha, you're spawning enemies right next to me again, aren't you?"
I didn't put you there.
I know.
Ooh, got him.
Try.
Sir.
I don't know. I don't think people can go too late tonight, but could we take a quick 2 minutes before we start combat?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
2 minutes, guys. I
Perfect.
didn't realize it had gotten so late. I'm sorry.
We did a lot of like role-playing.
We did.
Nice.
Oh. My initiative was 10. Didn't track it though because I didn't have my thing selected. So
I can fix that.
thank you, sir. I'll be right back.
All right, back in 2 minutes, guys.
Reed's just kind of making all the wrong moves tonight.
You shouldn't have tried to catch me.
It's what he would have tried to do.
I had half minded just to jump down the hole.
I'm sure.
I should have done it instead of just falling.
But it's still what Reed's reaction would have been. He would have tried to catch you. I'm bummed that it failed so spectacularly.
Yeah.
I'm like, I usually have a little bit better luck on that.
I think those kind of failures are the most exciting.
Yeah.
I really thought I was going to have a new character.
That was hilarious.
That was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, especially after our talk last week.
I wanted to play up the suspense a little bit. There was never any real, I don't want to say there was never any risk, but my intention was to have at least one of you statistically was going to fail that check. And what happened was going to happen mathematically to at least one of you, so
Oh, bummed.
I was really surprised it was Fubarius because he's like my almost guaranteed to make the check. We've got like 2 or 3 people that are guaranteed to make the check, and then several others that are like 50%ers. So when it happened right off the bat to my guaranteed guy, I was like, oh shit.
That's great. I was like, if anyone's gonna fall like 200 feet, at least it's the guy with 85 health.
Mhm. Halfway down rage for half damage.
Natives.
God damn it!
Just before impact. Rah, 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 rah.
I know that we were, like, in the end, ultimately safe. I just wish I'd remember the slow fall thing. Because dang.
That is
It's like a roller coaster. You know you're safe, but it's kind of fun to feel that danger.
Like,
No.
Raid should have and would have cast.
Okay, I am back. If I was the last one.
I haven't heard Lav, but I think we're all back otherwise.
I'm still here. Hello.
Hello there.
All right. Well, the 2 sentries that you see before you are, as they appear and as I describe them, metallic exoskeletons filled with, lime green magic energy of some kind working. You can watch it pulse throughout their bodies, kind of like a human circulatory system. But they immediately churn to life, assume an aggressive posture, and start moving towards you. Apparently, there was some kind of anticipated input for that crystal, which you failed to meet.
Yeah.
I think I know this one. Welcome back, Siege Crafter Black Fuse.
Well played. Is the crystal still red?
It is.
Can it still be deactivated?
We should just fucking destroy it.
Yeah, can I try breaking it with my sword?
It's Marius's turn first to do whatever he wants to do.
Well, Kig, you're on the same initiative, so why don't you go for it and do something?
I just want to take like the pommel of my sword and try to break the crystal.
Okay. Make a normal weapon attack roll. That's a hit.
Oh, ignore the sneak damage. Sorry. I sneakily break the crystal.
It never saw it coming.
I mean, it's not
You-
sentient for us, as far as we
I
know.
assume it's gonna go liquid as soon as I like bring my pommel to it.
Yeah, you hit it solidly, firmly. You knock it from its orbiting position back into the ground, where it shatters into like a dozen pieces. Each of those pieces becomes a non-solid liquid material, coalescing into a single puddle, and then just becomes one of the tiles on the floor.
Great. I wanna becomes one of the tiles on the floor.
Yep. Not unlike, science fiction programmable matter.
Well, I did my job. I'm gonna back up. Maybe like behind this pillar. Can I do like my hiding action as my boning action?
Sure.
Great. And I'll end my turn there.
Do you want to make a stealth check?
Yeah, my bad. Is that good enough?
Marius, you have an action.
I was really hoping that someone would be doing something brave.
Someone's about to.
Because
Welcome back, Seth.
I always be
because
brave. I'm just very low on the initiative always.
let's be real, Marius is not a barbarian or melee rogue. Okay, well, so Marius is going to retreat and going to risk that attack of opportunity, and that's just gonna suck. I'm going to use this cool ability I have to that I'm going to link because that's relevant. That one. I rolled a D2 earlier and got woe, which means that I can force you to subtract a D6 from the roll that you're about to make, under the assumption you're about to attack of opportunity me.
I am, and I will.
which I'm going to try. I'm going to retreat here anyway, and I might just be taking a fistful of life blood
So
magic.
I rolled a 3 on my 6-sider, so I'm going to make my attack -3.
The creature hits itself.
It critically fails.
Oh my
Wonderful.
The cosmic omen of woe is successful.
Nice.
Let me
That's
find
awesome.
the critical miss chart.
That's
Does the
awesome.
creature hit itself?
Let's consult the
Extends
oracle.
its arm too much and breaks a bolt.
15 on the critical fail.
Nice, so.
You get tangled with your enemy and fall over. You are knocked prone and your movement is reduced to 0.
Damn! That's a big ass
The target
construct.
must succeed a DC 10 dexterity check or also be knocked prone. I'm not going to make you roll for that.
Fair.
You bail out. It hums to life. It takes a step. You guys can hear like this just ear-piercing like creaking sound as its knee joint more like deforms and bends than it articulates at its ball joint, and it just tumbles like a stack of bricks,
Ooh.
almost crushing Marius, but it falls prone in the space next to him as he just runs against that gate.
Broke his ankles.
Now that's an
Maybe I like this
ACL
stuff after
tear.
all.
Broke his ankles. Oh, ACL.
Oh
Ooh.
man.
Well, anyway, now that I've watched that miraculous event,
Oh no. Anyway.
hmm
he's going to call down a beam of moonlight.
Of Healy Repair
I'm-
Construct Moonlight?
Yeah, super no.
Moonbeam!
Starfire!
Yeah, that's what I was about to.
I make a con save, right? I don't remember. I think con.
Yep.
Wouldn't this be closer to like Lunar Strike or something?
Y'all are talking about Moonfire.
So you make it. So it's going to be half of that. And that beam stays there. That's neat. And if it's a shape changer, it had disadvantage.
It is not, but remind me about that if we ever fight shape changers, because that is, I promise you, one of those details that I will never remember about that spell.
Yeah, I feel that. And I hate not having tokens, but I've placed this beam right
Let me
here.
see if I can find something real quick.
It's
I have something maybe. So I have to remember where I put it. It's a circle, right?
yeah, 5-foot radius.
This will work for now.
That's great.
See if we can find something better, but that's actually not altogether awful.
No, I like that.
All right, and I assume that's your turn.
Yep.
Now the constructs go. This one moves directly towards Reed. It's just going to slam you once with each of its massive fists. It punches, not unlike you. It's a little disquieting that as it closes to you, it adopts one of your monastic forms, taking the aggressive posture that you would against an enemy. Looks like a hit and a miss.
Correct.
12 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Oh no, never mind. You do not have to do that.
I'm not a creature.
You are a creature.
Or am I?
You are.
I don't understand.
Uh,
Why didn't I?
So this is one of those areas where I have like reskinned a different monster manual creature, and for the purposes of its challenge rating, it does not have the death effect. It just has the slam attack, but basically it's a matter of me being too lazy to refabricate my own unique monster manual entry, and I forgot that this was going to auto-populate with its damage, so I apologize.
Okay.
But it is just 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
So you're
The
telling
other
me
one-
if you were to miss the Constitution saving throw, it'd instantly kill you?
Yes, were this an actual clay golem?
That's terrifying. Anyway, continue.
Can you guys see that, by the way? I never know that.
Yeah, the blue thing?
Since the cat's out of the bag on this one, when I roll stuff, do you see that it's a clay golem?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a slam
Okay.
clay golem.
This one
Yes.
uses half of his movement to stand up, leaves the moonbeam. Do I take damage for that? Or is it just if I start my turn there?
No, but I want to double check that his movement wasn't reduced
His
to
movement
0.
was reduced to 0, by the way. When he tripped.
I think that was for his
True.
turn.
I don't know. You read it, not me.
Yeah, but that was an attack of opportunity. Was that considered his turn?
I'll say yes.
I was about to say, you better
Well, it
not
stands
move
up.
that near me.
Jezza, your turn. So
Okay.
still a healer. He saved Lav all of that extra damage.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Jeez.
So this guy with the moonbeam is knocked prone.
He is. Yeah, he has no speed with which to stand up.
So I can still miss attacks, though.
That'd be impressive, but yes.
That is possible. Yeah.
Do I get like advantage while attacking a prone target, or
Melee attacks against a prone target have advantage. Yeah.
okay?
Is it
possible
still lit
you
up in here?
No, all of the organic light has ceased. So
No,
you
I'm
got
go-
the light from Marius's form, and I think that was the only sort of light that we had
Yeah.
actually.
And I also have dark vision as a goblin, so
Yeah, I think everybody else has dark vision.
Did these guys
Yeah.
emit any sort of glow?
Very soft glow, like 5 feet of illumination.
Okay.
They're like walking
Alright.
glow sticks.
So
Try remind me that I have +1 bonus to all my attack rolls because I'm gonna forget.
Lav, you have plus bonuses to all your attack rolls. You're welcome.
now it is time for me to do monk things. So with advantage,
Attack with a stick.
I am going to attack with a stick, which will be an extra attack. And then I'm also going to spend a key point to do flurry of blows, which is 2 unarmed attacks.
Okay.
I'm not, however, going to spend a key point to stunning strike it to knock it prone.
Aw, why not?
So this,
Double prone.
this, and then 2.
So if you knock it prone again, does that mean it gets knocked onto its head and has to spend 2 turns to get back up because it's now
No.
knocked to its head?
So I'm going to
4 hits.
assume all of those hit.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is disgusting.
See, here I thought,
Welcome
I'm
to
gonna
Monk.
I'm gonna be a mage person. This is gonna be great. And then Jezza comes along and just starts punching the shit out of the thing.
Yeah, I mean, but like, so the monk is like the machine gun. It's not very good against stuff that has resistances. Like if that guy even had resistance 5, over half of her damage is lost. But
Yeah.
you give somebody who's just a flesh bag or something with no resistances, and a monk hits every time. Yeah, that's real good.
I also deal 0 magic damage, so
Yeah.
like
I'm gonna
attack the
shield.
slime. It does nothing.
Actually, aren't your hands magic now?
Your unarmed strikes count as magical
Yes.
for the purchase of overcoming resistance. Yeah, so I could just punch stuff.
Wow.
Are you happy ending your turn there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually going to use just the remainder of my movement to reposition here, so I'm closer to the beam of light, and I'm more in the way between me and. So Lav has a clear line of sight.
And it is Alexis's turn.
I did
How
this
now,
thing where I go
Carlton?
1, 2, 3,
All
4,
right.
5. I move over here.
This is a silly question to try. Are we supposed to be able to see health bars on these things or no?
Yes, but for some reason they're linked. If you see that I'm adjusting both health at the same time. So give me just a moment to decouple them.
No, I couldn't see. I don't see any health bars, so that's
We don't see any health bars at all, actually.
that's why I was confused.
Well, then never you mind.
Yeah, roll 20 probably being roll 20. So
Try. Meta question.
Better?
Try a meta question. Continuation from the meta question before. I did a little bit of reading. Twin spell allows you to hold 2 concentration spells at the same time until you fall. If I were to use Shadow Blade on one and use Shadow Blade twin it to the other, do I get 2 swords in my hand?
Can you have 2 concentration spells active with Twinned?
Yeah, that was in that was written down somewhere.
I thought
So
there
I
was no
could-
way to violate that. But so run by me what you want to do again? Sorry.
I don't actually want to do that. That was just that was a meta question. So theoretically, if I were to do a twin spelled Shadow Blade on one and then one on the other, but I'd be dual wielding swords.
And the Shadow Blade is a targeted spell?
Well, sort of. It generates a thing, and then you use that to attack things with.
But doesn't a twin spell only let you choose an additional target for a spell? So unless the impetus for the conjuration of the dagger has a target, I don't think you can twin it.
Damn. Okay. Well, regardless, I am going to be twin spelling a witch bolt
sounds really
onto both of them, actually. +1.
Plus. That hits.
Cool. Do I do a separate?
Oh, that hit red arbitrarily?
Huh?
Don't
It
you have to make a
hit
second?
red, but I'm
said-
also twin spelling it to green.
Right, so a second attack roll?
Is that how that works?
I would assume so.
I mean,
Because
I'm not.
conversely, if
I'm
you
not.
miss with the first one, you wouldn't want to miss with both, right?
That's fair.
Let me look up twin spell.
When you cast a spell that targets one creature and doesn't have a range of self, you can spend a number of key points to equal to the spell's level to target a second creature in the range with the same spell.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
just casting the same spell. So the first spell
Okay.
required an attack roll. The second spell will also require an attack roll.
You know what? Fair enough.
I
I'm
actually
sorry.
think that's better for you because you fish for a critical twice.
Well, +1.
2 hits. Roll damage for red.
This is what I want to do this as a 2. So, do.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And then I do this twice because it's twinned. Ta-da!
This is like gonna turn out to heal them or something because they're made of electricity.
Oh, please. Oh, don't do that to me.
We have had some fun with lightning in this game.
Yes, we have.
That's 2, so
Oh,
my,
I miss those.
I go down by 2.
So what happened to all the champion blessings that Zaz had? It just went with his body.
Oh, I
So
have it.
he took, or Alexis acquired the necklace that was the champion's medallion. The boon that he wore went in an infinite loop of it can't exist anymore because it was supposed to be passed to whoever defeated him in combat. So for a moment, the Chimera was the boon holder, and then she died at Zaz's hand, so he became the boon holder. And
Oh,
then
wow.
infinite loop of there is no one for it to go to because they killed each other, so it just dispelled.
It's like the dark saber.
Yeah.
No one knows what to do with it. Okay.
You're done, Alexis?
No fun description on the witch bolt? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's your bread and butter spell. I guess it is different now though because each hand is channeling a coiling tendril of lightning that's wrapped around the midsection torso of each creature. It is slightly less gratifying because where the lightning is making contact with its frame, it has reassembled portions of its armor has shifted from around its wrists and forearms down to around its waist where you have it coiled to provide additional reinforcement against the burning lightning. seemingly like reflexively. So every time it gets hot, it just puts new material there for the lightning to overheat. A impressive design feature.
No kidding.
Leo, it's your turn. The room is now brilliantly illuminated by the tendrils of lightning, courtesy of Alexis. Are you going to smash some things?
Go Leo.
I do plan on smashing things, but I have a question. How many bonus actions can you take per turn?
Only ever one.
Okay. So I'm going to rage, and then I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to Manville Green.
Okay. Hit.
It is not reckless.
What?
I am reckless.
I don't even know you.
And then as my extra attack, I'm going to throw the Spear of Tyrod at Red.
Okay.
Damn.
We have an interesting game rules interaction here. He is prone, and unfortunately, ranged attacks against a prone target have disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Then I'll reckless throw it. And just make it normal.
I love it.
Sleep throw it.
God.
Ah!
I don't care about this.
Well, I mean, in context, he just like slammed this one and then turned around and like just kind of yeeted that one. He did the spear at the other one, so
Mhm.
it was pretty reckless.
Let's see it.
But how you gain
Also
advantage
a
on
hit.
it is just so funny.
I will be
Nice.
reckless.
And then I guess I'll have the ancestral protectors taunting the green one.
Okay.
Cool.
You have come to Reed's rescue.
Thanks.
End of my turn.
Okay. Yeah, Jezza, just at like head height to you, you watch as a giant spear plunges through the back of the creature, narrowly missing you. Your reckless barbarian friend is wreaking havoc.
Cool.
Reed, it's your turn again. Now with Leo by your side, hopefully you're emboldened to be more aggressive.
I am emboldened. And with a demonstration of my halfling nimbleness, perhaps reinforced by my monk training, I use my movement action to dive at the golem before me and roll between his legs and pop up on the other side behind him.
In his patented peekaboo attack.
And now that I'm flanking, I'm going to attack with advantage.
Flanking is an optional rule that we don't use.
Oh, really?
We talked about it in
Well-
creation.
Okay. Well, I don't remember. Well, whatever. I'm just going to attack normally and like pretend I have an advantage because I'm a badass monk who is high on
You
himself
could
or some
be
shit.
a kobold. They get pack tactics.
Yep, we sure do.
Yeah. Um,
Just re-roll.
whatever.
It's fine.
Anything to be like not directly in front of him, I prefer to be direct behind him. So
I heard that about you.
Oh Lord.
it's true.
I mean, I heard
unarmed strike
Kig became a pack of one.
That hits. That matches his AC.
and extra attack. Same thing.
That unfortunately is a miss.
Spend a key point to get 2 more unarmed strikes.
Oh my God. 2 more?
Yep. Hit
Is
and
that
hit.
some level 7 shit I don't know about? Oh my
No,
God.
that's like basic monk.
Yeah, any monk that flurries, as long as they hit with a monk weapon attack, they can spend a key point for 2 unarmed attacks. It just gets more complicated when you start stacking on extra attacks, because then it just seems like they're taking all the turns. I'd like to punch you with my left hand, punch you with my right hand, kick you with my left foot, punch you with my right foot, and then stave attack. It's the stave your dick.
No, you're holding it in your mouth.
All right. Flurry of blows from Reed dents the armor in several places, rolls between his legs. Rising sun uppercut just between its back shoulder blades, toppling it forward, setting it up perfect for Leo's next Manville swing. It's an impressive bit of technology, but it seems ancient. You can tell that it hasn't been used in quite some time. Its movements seem lethargic and almost slow.
So,
Kig, It is your turn. Start of round 2.
Can I sort of like observe the construct at all and see if I can like, is there any like coalescing of energy or something I can see that's kind of like a weak spot or something I can do to turn it off? Anything I can roll to kind of perceive that, if possible?
You could make an insight check.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Does that help at all?
The skeletal form of its body protects seemingly nothing. Like, it doesn't have vital organs, so its armor seems more to contain the energy and give it a form that can be manipulated. But it does have a crystal, like, in its chest piece, just below the thickest portion of its armor. If it had a heart or if it had a control center, you would suspect that's it. It's the only part that's not just crudely blacksmithed, plate or living magical energy.
Does that count as my action?
I'll give it to you as a bonus.
Okay. I want to try and like use my short bow and point at that, see if I can hit it.
Okay.
Ooh.
That hits, and roll your sneak attack damage. As you attempt to take advantage of this potential vulnerability. 17 points is pretty good.
Sorry.
Apparently, there's a type of thief that whenever you attack, you have a chance to steal something off the target. I learned that was interesting.
You pierce its breastplate, but not deep enough to damage the crystal that lies beneath. But a good shot. Marius.
Okay, so I don't understand how concentration works. Specifically under the moonbeam, which lasts for a minute, so under concentration. Does that mean that I can cast non-concentration stuff and the moonbeam will persist?
Any concentration spell will persist up to its maximum duration so long as you maintain concentration, which means you succeed in any damage checks and you don't cast a second spell that requires concentration.
Okay.
Asterisk, some elapsed
Okay.
shenanigans may differ, but for the most part,
Right.
the rule is you can only have one concentration spell up, but that spell will last for as long as its duration is, so long as you save against damage and or don't ever, go unconscious or cast another spell that requires concentration.
Okay. Well, virtually everybody looks fine, so I'm going to maintain that moonbeam and just throw a little bit of frost
Nice.
at it.
Reed's a little hurt.
I said virtually everybody.
He's a virtual person.
I see how it
Con
is.
save is 8, so I take 11 points of cold at the red one.
Yep.
And I don't remember, do I have to make a con save for the beam?
Yeah, it's every turn you start your turn in the beam. So in theory, I missed one, and I'll just have to keep that up.
So I take half of 14, which is 7. Still a pretty potent attack. What level spell is that? Is that a 2? Yeah.
2, yeah.
Yeah, Dax, it's a good maneuver, and in previous editions of the game, it was functionally mandatory for melee to do that. It's only an optional rule in this game, and we talked about it during the session 0 about it just kind of being a little cumbersome in this edition because advantage is a huge bonus.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like,
yeah,
I totally get it. and I
Trying to
understand.
avoid
I'm
the
just like,
swarm of goblins where
"Oh."
it's like 8 goblins suddenly just one-shot every one of the heroes because they just you get 32 attacks all with advantage.
I was just stupid and forgot, and I thought I was playing so smart and brilliantly. I was like, oh, I have a plan.
Yeah, it was, and it is like strategically, it's a very solid plan. Marius, are you going to move? Or are you happy kind of where you're at, right in the middle?
Oh no, Marius is very happy right now.
All right. Red Golem uses half of its movement to stand up. It then churns its internal machinations, whirring much faster than they were before. The lime green energy that suffused its form suddenly flashes into a brilliant, vibrant jade color, and its hands begin to start spinning around its body much faster, almost faster than you can perceive, Jezza, and a series of rapid strikes follow. He will make 3 slam attacks against Jezza.
I did put where I found it, by the way. That's where I got it from.
One of those hit, and it's the
Yeah.
last one.
That is very lucky for
Woo!
you.
I'm gonna
So,
spirit shield it
Just for
as a reaction,
okay.
and then I'm trying to figure out how to actually roll for it. Just 2d6.
Yeah, 14 minus 2d6.
Slash.
You can use the multi-die roller, or you can just slash roll 2d6.
Right, we were talking about this earlier, but wow. Okay, the dichotomy of man.
you
Perfect.
take 7 damage, Jezza, from his hasted slam attacks. That's pretty good.
You know, the funny part is Leo could have, in a really good roll. Oh no, it would have been 2d6. It would have been 12. Never mind. Never mind. I was about to say you could do the entire thing. No.
Very nearly, though.
Yeah.
And the other one does the exact same thing. Below its health threshold, it also whirs up, glowing much brighter and moving so fast you have a hard time following its movements. It will make 3 slam attacks against Leo. With advantage because of your recklessness.
Correct.
Oof.
Hit, crit.
Oh no.
Yep.
We'll do hit 12, hit 21.
But reduce damage because he's raging, right?
Yeah.
Correct. My AC's 13.
So-
13?
Yeah.
Are you wearing nothing? Like a smock
Correct.
and that's it?
Mhm. Yep, his apron, and that's it.
Holy
So the
shit.
12
Aprons and-
becomes 6, the 21 becomes 10, so that's 16, and the 25 becomes 12, so 28.
Okay.
Damn.
That's
And
fine.
again,
That's not
please
that bad.
disregard the saving throw nonsense.
Yeah.
All right, now I got to learn how to heal. Hold on.
Jezza, it is your turn.
What about the crit table? Are you gonna do
First,
that?
Oh, right! Hey,
Do I
look
roll
at
on that?
basics.
Or do you roll
No, I roll on that.
Okay. Good luck.
Totally boning you.
Congrats.
First thing you got to do,
Totally
Sal, is you
boning
got to be in. You got to be in.
Are you in nocturnal stance or are you in astral stance?
He shoves you, Fubarius, 5 feet away, and you fall
Diurnal.
prone.
Okay. Cool.
All right, Jezza, you're up.
Putting Leo on the target hood.
All right. Well, I got lucky, so I think I need to kill this thing or do something
it.
to this thing.
Seems like
So,
you don't have to be that lucky twice, yeah.
6 attacks.
yeah, I'm going to. I don't know how much health that is, so I'm going to spend the key point to flurry of blows, and we're going to repeat my turn. And I'm going to smack this thing. with My small goblin body.
Do the thing. Both of those are hits, as are the 2 unarmed strikes.
God.
So
40,
Give me a moment.
39.
39.
You smash it to pieces with the first 2 quarterstaffs, and as its form sort of collapses, it drops to its knees, and the armor begins to tessellate, becoming one single circle of material that deposits itself back in the stone ring here, and the crystalline shard that powers it just kind of falls on the ground, and you bring your heel down, axe kicking on it, shattering it. There's a small hum, a reverberating sound that fills the room. It's dead.
Yeah!
Point of order, you technically killed him with 3 of the attacks, so if you have movement and you can make it to green, you can use your last unarmed attack against green.
Oh, I can make it green.
I figure you're very speedy, so
Yeah.
you only
With
needed
that-
3 of those 4.
That's exactly my
Nice.
move. That's actually my whole movement right there. Is
Uppercut him.
that? Yep. I'm gonna
Right in the chin.
one just flying dragon kick at it. Just,
Nice.
Yuck! Ow, my foot! Ooh, ow, my foot! Ow, he's made of metal.
Are you okay using the 25 that you were gonna roll? Yeah, let's just do that. That hits and does
Yeah.
8 points of damage. Sorry, I realized it had already been rolled and I was the one holding up the works. Yeah, you flying serpent kick right into the back of its knee. You can hear the metal bend and warp. It doesn't make a sound verbally, but you can tell it's upset as it turns its head without moving its body at all. Its head just whips around to look at you.
A very angry owl.
Alexis, your turn. The channeled lightning beam to the red one dissipates once the creature has been destroyed. You're still lassoing green. I assume you're going to maintain Witch Bolt.
I am muted. Hello. Yes,
Hello.
I'm muted. Yes, I am going to keep channeling the Witch Bolt.
Witch Bolt?
Yeah, I should probably press the button now.
Witch bolt, that one.
Which one?
Which
What button
Oh,
did you push?
Witch
I think I
bolt?
lost it.
You don't have to attack, right?
Oh yeah, I don't. Actually, I should just do this.
I think once you hit it, as long as you maintain it, it just deals damage.
Yeah, unless I get hit. Correct. So it's 11 damage.
Shocking, you're starting to melt through even its third and fourth layers of newly enameled armor. It's looking worse for wear, and it's starting to kind of collapse in on itself as it's borrowed too much material from the rest of its frame to try to protect itself, that it's growing unstable. Leo.
I'm gonna use half my movement getting up, and then I'm gonna run at it. And I'm gonna, for flavor text wise, I'm gonna jump in the air and recall the spear and
Okay.
stab it in its chest.
Nice. It definitely returns to you in flight mid-jump. The attack is good. You plunge it deep into the construct's chest. Let's see the damage.